hello. 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 Hello, how are you? Oh, I'm just testing on this voice. Hello, how are you? Don't know who it could be. Maybe a pretentious art critic. Oh, hello. It came from an advert I saw on TV. This woman speaking very strangely, but there you go. Oh, hello. It's not quite right. I'll keep practicing.
How are you? Hope you're fine. This is the Shy Yeti Show.
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3. Good luck, studio.
Oh, it's the Shy Life Podcast.
Oh, there's gonna be some drama ahead.
All I wanted was a pie, and then I hatched out of an egg.
Okay, bring the mic over. He's ready to record.
I see your mental condition is improving.
Is it metaphorical? Is it deep? Is it deep?
Good boy. He said all that shy is right. Gee.
Blimey, Governor. It's the Shy Life Podcast.
Hello, Paul.
Quack, quack, quack.
I dare how he does it.
Excellent.
Hello.
Oh my goodness.
192.
600. Bonjour et bienvenue au podcast The Shy Life.
Hello and welcome to yet another episode of the Shy Life Podcast with me, Paul the Shy Yeti. How are you doing? I'm all right. So, what's this episode going to be about? Well, it's that time of year again. We're going to be looking back over the episodes that came out during 2023. It'll be a two-part episode. So we'll just look at the episodes that came out between January and June. The good thing about this year is that there have been so many new voices on the show. And one of them will be showing up in just a moment. But anyway, let's run the theme music. When we come back, we'll get started reviewing the first half of 2023.
Darling, it's the Shy Life Podcast.
Yes, but it's a positive thing, Paul. The high life, the shy life.
I'll go anywhere for a potato.
Delicious. Hello, campers. How are you?
You quite like a big bang, don't you?
Good gracious. Well, that's a whopper.
Oh, yippee.
Go Shy Yeti.
Oh, he hasn't found out my secret. Maybe he has.
I love the Yeti Fest. It's my favorite thing.
If you thought that was bad, just listen to this.
Yeah, I'm strangely drawn to Yeti Uncle John's ankles as well.
I could eat more body weight in crisps every day.
Has anyone seen my hot sausage?
It's all gooey and meaty and yum, 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 yum.
Here comes the grizzly.
It's the Shy Life Podcast.
I can't wait for it to begin.
I like that. Yeah.
Look, Mommy, I'm famous.
Marvellous. Marvellous, Paul.
Hi there.
So, listeners, I said we had a special guest, and we do. Can you guess who it is? Special guest, say something.
Hi there.
Could you guess who that was? Can you tell how wise he is? Yes, it's Levi the Wise. That's his new nickname.
Levi the Wise.
Levi the Wise. You are the wise. You are the wisest, Levi. Before we start talking about the podcast this year, did you think back in January that you would meet such a weird and wonderful cast of people and be dragged onto a podcast kicking and screaming? I mean, to be fair, you weren't actually dragged into the show until after June 2023. But even so, what do you think? Would you have guessed it? Has it enriched your life?
To some extent. Yeah, I would
Yes.
guess so.
Yeah, I thought you were going to say that. Yes. I'm glad. I'm very glad it's enriched your life. Anyway, well, Levi, it's time for you to sit back and listen as I tell you and the listeners all about the episodes that we did in the first half of 2023. So, if you're ready, are you sitting comfortably?
Yes, I am.
Good. Right. Well, where should we start? Well, I guess we should start at the beginning. The first episode that was released in 2023 came out on the 5th of January. Now, I think I probably would have liked this out a little bit earlier, but if I remember rightly, at the end of December 2022, I was running out of hosting space for the month, and obviously the podcast review episodes are pretty long, and I didn't have the space, which is why I think the last official episode of 2022 was a short episode, because I had space, I released an episode which was 602, but that came between the two review episodes. So yeah, the first episode that went out was episode 603. It was a Shy Life podcast review of 2022, part 2, which we don't really need to talk about because, well, but the first original episode of 2023 came out on the 10th of January. It was episode 604, our New Year 2023 Chatterbox show, which I guess, if things had worked out with the hosting space, would have been my ideal start to the year. There were lots of guests. We had Troby and Lisa from Around the Archives. We had Uncle Warren from the Cinematic Sausage. We had Toppy Smelly from the Smellcast. We didn't have Nick in that episode, but we did have pre-recorded chats with Martin Holmes of Vision on Sound and Muffley on Tour, which were inserted into the episode.
Do you guys remember Sequest? That started in 93.
Sequest TSB.
Yeah, Wes Schneider.
Yeah.
Yes, yeah.
And the Talking Dolphin.
Stephanie Beecham. Yeah, the awful talking dolphin, and that there was a kid in it as well, wasn't it? It's always a kid.
It's always a kid, yeah.
We had Diagnosis Murder with Dick Van Dyke.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, Mary Poppins.
Goodbye, Mary Poppins.
Okay, now this strikes me, it must have come from the UK. It's called Wycliffe.
Yes, that's Jack Shepherd.
Shepherd, yeah.
Yeah, in Cornwall. Possibly the most boring police series I've ever seen.
Oh, I'm so glad you said that. Oh, I'll buy you a drink for that, Lisa.
What happens in it then?
There were murders.
Oh, it has the most depressing titles in the world.
Yeah.
And all the characters are made of wood.
Yeah. The only interesting episode I've ever seen had Louise Jameson in it.
Yeah.
And that's the only reason. Because it's Louise Jameson, she instantly made it better.
Yeah.
So,
how about Peak Practice? That was 1993.
My dad used to watch that.
That's Morse's assistant, isn't it?
Yeah, Kevin Waitley. Yeah, and
it says Gary Mavers, Simon Shepherd, Esther Coles, Margaret Mason.
It's one of those series that had quite a few cast lists. So it starts off with one lot of people because it was set in a doctor's surgery, in a practice, and then they would leave and different doctors would come along. So it was quite a good series, really, in the fact that you could just keep reinventing it because you'd just get new actors as new characters in. So, and until it sort of ran out of steam at some point in the early 2000s, I guess, or the late 1990s.
You know what was super mega popular here and just was, oh God, I don't know how many years. All Creatures Great and Small.
Oh, All Creatures Grunt and Smell.
Yeah, no, I mean that was that from originally from the late 70s, but it
it's come back brief. It's come back now, hasn't it?
It's come back as a totally different. But that's Peter Davison, who played the Fifth Doctor. That's the thing that he was known for when he was cast in Doctor Who. He was known for All Creatures Great and Small. And
I have to say, the new series is absolutely lovely and has got the absolutely wonderful Samuel West as Siegfried. And it's brilliant. It's, just as good as the original.
Following that, we had episode 605. Please welcome the mysterious Mr. Pipes. That came out on January the 12th. And, Yeti Uncle John had a guest, Reginald Pipes, who he'd put up in his magpie hut because he was wandering out in the open air on such a cold day. Yeah, Yeti Uncle John took him in and looked after him. And, that was the beginning of a new friendship, but we'll return to that. Hello, Cromitty. Very nice to meet you. Were you out visiting your friend? Well, he's not necessarily our friend anymore. It's a long story. Oh, I'm sorry to hear that. It's just a little bit of, we're sort of, I guess you could say we're in business together. We do a podcast, or like four of us, well, more than four of us, but our friend is one of the team, and well, I think he might be leaving us. No, but we're hoping not. Oh, how very sad. It's very sad when people fall out with each other. I know that because I've been through it recently. I really miss her. Really miss her. Reginald, we wondered if you might like to come out with us. We were going to go for an early dinner. If Uncle John has a taxi. I thank you, but I don't really feel I'm dressed for it. I probably need a wash and brush up. Well, you can come back to my flat. You can have a wash and brush up now if you like. No, I just want to rest, I think. I just want to rest. Maybe another time. Perhaps I can use your bathroom tomorrow. Sure. I'm sure we can arrange that. You'll be staying around for a bit longer. Well, I think so. I'm still hoping that things might work out with my friend. Well, if we can help you, Reginald, if we can help you. Yes, just let us know. Reginald, we can bring you back some food for later, if you like. I still have those sandwiches. I haven't quite got round to eating them yet. Oh, well, if you're sure. I still have the flask of coffee. Well, yeah, you should definitely have something to eat whilst we're out. Yes, it's fine. But did Uncle John want these books? Oh, yes, the present from Tallulah. A book about bird song and a book about bird art. Oh, how nice. Oh, well, that's very good. That's nice. Oh, the books look nice. Well, you're welcome to have a look at them. But Reginald, definitely have a look at them. Thank you, I might do. I think she's put a little message or something like to get Uncle John. Oh, yes. Oh, she's cute. She's funny. I like her. Oh, I'm glad she's feeling better. Well, I suppose we better get off. You're going to be okay by yourself, Reginald? I'll be fine. Yes, fine. You run along and have fun. All right. Well, I'll see you again. I wish I could invite you to sort of sleep over at my flat, but it's quite crowded at the moment. No, that's fine. That's fine. The magpies and I will just chat. Oh, yes, but it's been nice to meet you, Reginald. I hope things work out for you. Yes, they will. They will, won't they, Reginald? It's nice having him about, actually. It's nice to better have conversations with somebody other than a magpie when I'm in this hut. Our next episode was episode 606, Paul and Martin's mid-70s musical chitter-chat. And we talked about some of the big stars from 1975 and included bands like Mud, the Bay City Rollers, David Essex, and even Elvis Presley. Following that, we had episode 607, Shy Yeti's Lost Taped Voices from the Past. This was because Nick had given me a load of new of recordings from my own archives that I didn't even know existed, and I decided to do an episode which was just, chats with friends, some voices who we knew, some we didn't, and that included my brother when he was very young, and even me on the local radio, I think, maybe.
Well, I'm not kidding you now. I mean, this is really me, not my deep voice. And I really mean this, but I am going to give you what I think is cultural entertainment for an hour. It is, in fact, in the form of a guided tour of what goes on inside my mind, if indeed anything at all. Yes, and, well, sit back and enjoy, if you possibly can, but you may have to force yourself a bit. Let the show begin.
Where are we? We're here. And so are you. You're there, though, but I'm here. Or vice versa.
Anyway, as I am trying to eat a packet of crisps at the same time, it's going to be difficult. There we are. In case you're wondering, this delightful music is part of my granddad's record collection, so you can blame him. Wonderful, isn't it? During this hour of cultural entertainment, we'll be having a series of interviews with my granddad, and my great uncle Brian, to be precise. So I'm trying my best to ignore it, and I expect you are too. And wake up, thank you. And excuse me. And sorry. I have been attempting to discover the meaning of reality. If indeed it does exist, because it might not, I don't know. And I have asked several people what they think. Sorry, I should not speak with my mouth. Yeah. Better. Yes. And what if my granddad fully knows what monstrous things he held? Anyway.
Next up, we had episode 608, The Two Faces of Coconut Jim. This was an episode with Uncle Warren, and we discussed the TV of 1963 and 1979. But we also ran into Yeti Uncle John's friend, Coconut Jim, more than once, but they didn't look the same. Mysterious.
In August, Ready, Steady, Go premieres.
Oh, no, yes.
Yeah. Ready, Steady, Go, listeners, was, for those who don't know, there was a pop programme. I was going to say, it predates Top of the Pops by about a year, doesn't it? Top of the Pops started in 64, so I sort of thought it would have been their reaction to Top of the Pops, but that's not the case.
1963 to 66 was Ready, Steady, Go.
Yeah, it didn't last, but
they always had these hip names, didn't they? Ready, Steady, Go.
Yeah.
The 6-5 special, which I always used to think that's ridiculous. Was it on at 6-5? Was it 6 minutes past 5? And there's this terrible clip of the 6-5 special with what turned out to be a BBC Radio 2 radio presenter later on in years to come, because they all sort of jumped from there. And he does this terrible, "Hi, welcome, it's time to jive on the old 6-5." And he's like pulling a funny face, and you're thinking the BBC had no idea how to do pop programmes whatsoever. Ready, Steady, Go was an ITV programme as well.
Yeah. Apparently it was... It was cancelled when it was still popular because the beat boom was fading. But I mean, whatever it was that the type of bands that were popular in '63, a lot of them were still around and had evolved. You'd think the show would just evolve to whatever the music had evolved into. But there you go.
It had the Beatles on it, like most people had the Beatles on them in the early 60s. But
who had the Beatles?
Yes, he squashed my favourite Beatles. And they were playing Won't Be Long, You Can't Do That, and Can't Buy Me Love. Wow. And the legend that they played, because that they tagged onto the programme, was The Weekend Starts Here. It was one of those Friday evening programmes for the young people.
Like TFI Friday, but much earlier.
What does TFI stand for? Thank goodness it's Friday.
Yeah. Well, that would be TG. Yes. Thank Flip, it's Friday.
Next up, we had episode 609, Behind the Camera, Back in the Noughties. This was a chat with Nick about making films in the early noughties with our friends. Sort of anecdotes about making films or at an amateur level back in the day.
We'd done Smile Again in 2002. For 2003, I realised were two significant things. One, I was getting married, and two, it was going to be 10 years since Prison in the Sun, 10 years since we'd been making the film. So I wanted to do something a bit special. Now, the previous feature-length one I'd done, Run Fast in the World, I had to come in for a bit of flack about the length of it and the complexity of some of the ideas. But I knew in my heart of hearts I wanted to do another feature-length adventure, and with a bit of intrigue and things like that. And we'd been to a convention. Did you go to the Sunmakers convention with me?
I can't remember now, but
it was a very it was a bit of a pokey convention. We were all, the guests were kind of awkwardly stuck, and it was badly put together. But they put a fan video up, and it was a very fan-based kind of Daleks zapping things, and it was computer technology. I thought, well, really, I could do this. It's not super wonderful CGI. And I sent them an idea because they were looking for ideas, and they just sort of sent me a letter back, patting me on the head and saying, "This is our next event," which I wasn't very impressed with. But it got me thinking, for this film for 2003, what could I do? Could I get away with doing a science fiction story if it wasn't too alien-y and no spaceship-y, and it relied on the ideas rather than the effects? And I thought, yeah, let's see where we go with this. And unlike Smile Again, it developed. I'm not dishing Smile Again. It came out very well, but it's the ideas I worked up a lot quicker with this. And Andy was originally going to play a smaller part, and he eventually, he was living with us at the time, so he eventually got promoted to a bigger part. But I thought I'd like to bring Carol Parkinson back, because she was the character in Prison in the Sun, and Elaine once said that she'd been prepared to come back. Now, Elaine and Keith our friends had sort of had gone off the idea of being in films. But I approached Elaine at the time and said, if I was to ask you to come back as Carol, what would you be prepared to do? And that gave me a perimeter to work with, perhaps get some ideas. So I had basically have the idea of her maybe being a kind of like a Doris Stokesy guru. She'd become a cult figure, officially disgraced because of her time in Sutton Park and the fact she'd gone a bit crazy. But somebody who was a cult figure, a bit like David Icke, who some people derided, some people actually went to for advice. Then I came up with the lead character, who became Oliver Darlington, and I thought, well, you've got to put the two together. It's just screaming out for it. And I realised I wanted to go a little bit further with Carol than Elaine perhaps would have been comfortable with. So I cast Nikki Angel, who I've been in productions with. Carol was brought back in a modern setting.
Next up, episode 610. This was the last episode of January, and it came out on the last day of January, and it was called Yeti Uncle John and the Magpie Naming Ceremony. This is something we've been talking about for a while. Yeti Uncle John wanted to name his magpies officially because to this point, they'd never been properly named. And Yeti Uncle John was very keen that Toppy Smelly be like the naming guy, I suppose. And Bettina was also there doing her sort of mystic impression, for want of a better description, being like a clairvoyant, a sideshow. But actually, it led to more mysteries than we ever expected.
Oh, Toppy, you did really well. That was a lot of magpies. I think that was about 80 in the end you had to do. You had to do it in shifts, didn't you?
I did. I did. I hope I hope that was okay, but I was all I could do. I barely lasted till the end.
Oh, no.
I mean, at the end I was saying Peter and Jane.
Oh, well.
And Spot. That was the worst one. Spot.
Oh, well, he did have spots on his wings, but... well, there's plenty of food. I mean, it's going to be going on for a while. I must introduce you to... there's a few people I want to introduce you to, but I don't think you... Yeti Uncle John's got this fellow staying with him at the moment. He's
like he was found wandering in the bad weather. I think he was a traveller, and Yeti Uncle John's put him up. His name's Reginald Pipes, but I haven't met him many times myself, but he should be around here somewhere.
Well, it's a good thing I didn't name one of the magpies Reginald, because that would have been confusing.
Oh, you must come over to the fortune teller's tent. Bettina's doing fortunes, so that's better. But get yourself some more food, and then I'll show you where she is.
Yeah. Paul.
Yeah.
One last thing. It's really hard to tell with magpies, but to be honest with you, I couldn't tell if any of them liked or disliked their names. It's hard to tell. So I just hope,
Yeah, they're probably going to have to take it in. It's got to sink in, isn't it?
Maybe they have to mull it over.
Yeah.
Because I'm not sure what mulling magpies sound like. Anyway, it's hard to tell. Okay, food. Yes.
Come on,
I'll be with you in a minute.
Come over here. Next up, our first episode of February, released on the 6th of February, was episode 611, Shy Yeti's 42 Books and Counting. Now, this is an episode I'd recorded with Toppy, and it was about the 42 books that I'd read in 2022. Now, I don't know if that's a lot or not, but obviously I've got the time at the moment, so I've been reading a lot, and I just thought it would be fun to talk about the books I'd read. Autobiographies, serious books, scary books, all sorts, and read quite a lot of books this year too, and hopefully I'll be doing an episode with Toppy about the books I read in 2023. I read 2 Stephen King books, but they were shorter ones, and they were in his they were supposed to be more crime. One was called Later, and one was called Joyland, and they were both written, I think, in the 2010s. The thing is, I really enjoyed them, but they were both in a sort of crime imprint rather than horror. But they both had a certain amount of horror, sci-fi sort of in them. So I kind of thought I wouldn't say that they were 100% crime, because Later definitely had a character who had a boy who sort of got premonitions about bad things that were going to happen. And Joyland was about a fairground where a murder had happened. And again, the character was kind of trying to find out, they never found the killer at this fairground. So it was more than just crime, which is probably why I really enjoyed them both, because they weren't deadpan 100% crime. They still had the Stephen King touch. The thing about Stephen King I find these days is that I'm a bit put off by the really massive long ones, which are probably the ones I've not read yet. There are quite a few of his I've not read, which are massive, and I think in a way reading them digitally, kind of you forget that they're massive. It breaks it down a bit. You're not faced by this enormous book that you're carrying.
I attempted. I've read a lot of King, probably more than any other author, because I only say it that way because, there are a hell of a lot of authors out there and a hell of a lot of books. And sometimes I'm a little embarrassed that I've read so much King. I mean, he's popular. I get it. I can't think of anything I've read of his that I didn't like. But it's like, come on, expose yourself to someone else besides King. Anyway, I tried to read The Stand. And I got so far, and I just never finished it. It's the only long one I've ever tried to tackle.
Next up, episode 612, released on the 11th of February, Shy Yeti and the Mystery of the Queer Cove. The Queer Cove being a bar where we suspected that August Evans, when he'd been Damius Twinklehorn, we suspected that he'd worked there. This was all part of the hunt to sort of discover what Damius was getting up to when, in those missing 6 months or so, back when he lost his memory, and back before he arrived in Pickle Hollow, thinking he was August Evans. Well, I guess he was August Evans, and he has been ever since, pretty much.
We have specials of the day.
Oh, yes.
And special drinks at the bar. I'm sorry, what were you saying?
No, I was going to say, I wouldn't mind a Manhattan. If I quite like... I'm feeling in a cocktail mood today. But.
All right. James, a Manhattan, please. Yes, it'll be coming up.
Thank you. Yeah, I think a friend of mine may have worked here for 6 months.
Possibly.
2 or 3 years ago. His name's August. Well, actually, that's his August Evans, but he that's his sort of his. I would say his stage name, but. He's actually an artist. He gave up acting, and he's become an artist. But he was an actor again.
Yes, artists, actors, they're a similar breed. We have them all here.
Yeah. So I guess you wouldn't necessarily have known him as August Evans.
No, I don't believe I've heard that name.
No, but what about Damius Twinklehorn? That's his name. That's his stage name, anyway.
No, I don't think so. I don't believe so.
I was just he just mentioned working in a bar in this area, and we found some bar mats. I guess maybe perhaps he worked in a different bar, but used to come in here. He had some of your bar mats anyway, your beer mats. I mean, with the Queer Code logo and everything.
Well, they do get put out when they get old, and some people take them, but. Well, perhaps he's at one of our rival bars. You might check there.
Oh, actually, I mean, in case he was a customer, not a not one of your employees. I've got there's a photo of him. Actually, there's one or two there of. You don't recognise. I mean, of course, you might recognise him from seeing him on stage at some point, or.
Possibly. Well, if you have a photo, let me see.
Yes, there you go. Yeah.
Oh, no. I've never seen him in my life. He's never been here.
It's a shame. I noticed you have a lot of photos around on the walls of, some of your former clients.
Oh, yes.
Very interesting.
Oh, they love to get on the walls here.
Yeah, I noticed there was one from, like a sort. I don't know if it was a summer party or some sort of party, and I could have sworn that Damius was in that photo. But,
what here? Oh, I doubt it very much.
He was wearing a Queer Cove apron, which he wouldn't do if he was a customer, though, would he? Surely you'd have to be a member of staff to have one of the actual aprons that your barman over there is wearing.
Well, of course, but I tell you, I've never hired such a person.
Yeah. It's just.
So, if you'd like a seat, or at the bar,
it's just that it's a bit of a mystery. It's a bit of a mystery, my friend. You see, he went missing for 6 months, and then later he sort of emerged on the art scene in a completely different part of the world, and we're just trying to trace as to what happened to him.
How interesting! Yes,
and it would seem like, whether you remember him or not, that he worked here. Have you not been the landlord very long?
Oh, yes, since its founding. Well, actually, my father started it. It's been around a long time. But no, I know of no this Damius or this, what did you call him?
Damius Twinklehorn. Yeah.
But another name?
August Evans, but that was the name he took on later when he was becoming an artist. So
yes.
Or you would only have known him as Damius.
Actor to artist, I understand. Well, this sounds like you've got quite a mystery, but as you can see, there's still room at the table, or if you wish, the bar.
Following that, on the 13th of February, we had episode 613, Tallulah's Great New Love. It was our Valentine's Day special. Somewhere along the way, Yeti Uncle John's guest, Reginald Pipes, had been introduced to Tallulah, and the two of them had rather fallen in love, and they went on their first date. But, well, things aren't quite as simple, and Cromitty and Yeti Uncle John kind of had their own date too. So, yes, find out how they got on.
Tallulah? Tallulah?
Oh, my darling, is it tea time?
It is, yes. Martin just called me in. He's going to take me back straight after tea.
Straight after tea?
Yes, he seems keen that,
Oh, darling.
He did ask if I'd be staying over, but I said no, of course not.
Oh, well, he'll get used to it.
Yes, he'll get used to it. But will he get used to the truth, Tallulah?
No, we don't need to tell him the truth. He doesn't need to know about that.
No, I suppose not. But I don't like lying to people.
No, but it's it'll be fine. It'll be fine, my darling.
I believe you, Tallulah. I believe you. It'll be fine. It'll all be fine.
What will be fine?
I'm just saying to Tallulah that I'll be going home after tea.
It's very lovely of you to take him home, dear. No problem. No problem. You two, whispering in corners. You think you were trying to keep secrets? No, don't be silly, my dear.
No, not at all. Let's have tea.
Next up was episode 614, released on the 16th of February. Shy Yeti presents the awesome, incredible Matt Chat. Now, I was saying earlier how I've had a lot of new guests this year, and Matt was one of them. Matt was probably my first new guest of the year. A new friend I met on a chat forum, and we've been sending messages and keeping in touch, and I managed to talk him into recording answers to some questions I sent. We didn't do a Skype chat, and I recorded questions, sent them to him, and he recorded the answers and returned them. And although we never chatted in a conventional way, the episode turned out really well, I think. And it was an interesting way to do an episode. And I think Matt gave some good answers, and it was a successful edition of the show.
So my taste of music is a little bit all over the place. So when I was a teen, I listened to a lot of punk, rock, and metal music. That started fizzled out a little bit. So I still like rock and punk, not so much a metal fan anymore. But I'm also a sucker for good acoustic music, being that a piano or someone who plays the guitar or something like that. So my favorite band of all time basically would be Rise Against, which is a punk screamo band. I'd say in the past they had more screams than they have now. They got a little bit mainstream with their newer albums, which is okay, basically, right? People have to live and feed their families. So that is that. Because I basically grew up on Sum 41 and Blink-182, which are still great bands to listen to today, I really like the new direction Machine Gun Kelly is going with this pop-punk music. It really reminds me of the old days, and he has some catchy tunes mixed within it. So that is like a newer band I like to listen to. There are also some classics I obviously like Queen. Because of my mom, I basically can sing along to every ABBA song that was ever produced. Other than that, on a daily basis, I listen to a lot of gaming music played on a piano, because gaming music itself is made so that the player can hear it over and over again without being annoyed by it. So I could listen to the Super Mario theme song for hours without, getting annoyed. And if you play that on a piano or anything, I could listen to that while studying or writing or working. So, yeah. And obviously, because I watch a lot of anime, right? Their intros, they're always catchy and always being done by huge bands over in Japan. So you have some high quality music there too. Even if I don't understand a single word these people are singing, I still have fun, right? So yeah, that is that.
Next up, on the 19th of February, we released episode 615, Shy Yeti's Further Lost Voices Rediscovered. This was another collection of messages and audio tapes and chats and sketches recorded, 30 years ago or more from my recently converted archives. At one point I had planned to do an episode like this every month, but we just got so busy with other voices and new collaborations and stories and all sorts. So I still intend to release more episodes from the archives, but I'm not quite sure when that will be. I didn't originally intend for there to be so few Sutton Park clips during 2023, but that's the way it's gone, partly because I started releasing shorter chats with guests as sort of the bits between scenes, that sort of space that I used to put Sutton Park in, and will do again, but at the moment it's been working well having sort of shorter chats with people. So I'm all for the show evolving and changing and going down different routes, and obviously I want to put more Sutton Park on, but we did have a quite Sutton Park heavy year in 2022 because it was the 30th anniversary. So I did put some new episodes, new old episodes up on YouTube around the 31st anniversary this year. In fact, I put material recorded on the 2nd anniversary of the show. Anyway, next up on the 21st of February, I released episode 616, The Birthday Twins Rule OK. This was the first episode that involved Andy the birthday twin, and he really is my birthday twin, born the same day, the same year, and also has a very good taste in old TV, particularly Australian TV, such as Prisoner Cell Block 8, Sons and Daughters, Young Doctors, Cop Shop. We talked about all of those and got on really well. I've known Andy for a while, but we'd never spoken until we recorded that episode. And I heard that he had been a guest on another podcast concerning Prisoner Cell Block H. And I sort of said to him, if you're already doing podcasting, you've definitely got to be on my show. And he was really up for it. And this was the first episode. And I think we've done 3 more since then. One just about our common interests. Another about Young Doctors and Sons and Daughters again. And another about turning 50 and things like that. And I'm pretty sure he'll be back again in 2024.
Because of liking Doctor Who, I had loads and loads of pen friends when I was in sixth form. Some of them overseas, some of them in the UK, and some of them became actual friends and ended up in Sutton Park. But the ones who lived in different areas, I would ask if they would video Prisoner wherever they were, so I could see a little bit ahead, because I was or if I went to visit them, I'd be like, do you mind if I stay up and just watch Prisoner for bed?
I remember going to Blackpool on a family holiday and shocking my whole family by demanding that rather than us going out, I wanted to stay in and watch Prisoner, because you could get Granada and HTV, so there were two episodes, and I think they were on different nights. And it was like, come on, we need to. And it's like, no, I want to stay in and watch this, because Granada are like 3 years behind Central, and HTV are even further behind. So, I've really got, and that seemed to be the thing. Then the different regions did have a lot more variation in what they showed, didn't they?
Yeah.
Following that, we released episode 617. Once again, it's also terribly random. This was an episode with Nick. We were doing another random word episode. This time we talked about the words drive, mirror, physics, deviation, pride, and high. And it was confession time again. But, you'll have to listen to that episode to find out more.
We also did, later on in Sutton Park, we did a spoof on the film Candyman.
Yeah.
We had people saying, like, Sutton Park 4 times or 3 times, however many it was, into a mirror, and then some horrible face loomed out.
That's no way to talk about Danny.
Mirrors are always good for...
I always remember, mirror-wise, I think my association would be with filming too, because they were always a useful device when you were trying to get round a shot. And also when we did One More Bow, which was my sort of comedy ghost story, I needed to do a shot where Louise, who was playing one of the girls, had to put her hands through something, and we had to go through. I think we didn't use. I think it was a big pane of glass. The shot didn't work. I never used it in the end. But and also there was a shot where one of the live characters was talking into a mirror, and we had to make sure that he's doing a quote or something, and the ghost answers back. So we needed to make sure the ghost wasn't in shot.
Following this, our last episode of February was released on the 28th of February, episode 618, being oh so super at the local supermarket. Now, I managed to get myself a little secondment, very brief secondment, at a local supermarket, Kapow Supermarkets, where Cromitty works part-time, and met some of the staff there, and many of the regulars popped in. I was doing research for a writing project, but all very interesting, all good fun. This was the same supermarket we'd taken Yeti Uncle John at the end of 2022 when he'd had his fructophobia. Yeah, I said fructophobia.
Hello. Are you my new intake?
Yes. I'm Paul the Shy Yeti. This is Cromitty. Hello. I think I recognized you.
Well, a lot of people say that. Yeah, well, people come and shop in the shop, you see, and then they see you and they begin to think they know you.
Yes, we were here looking at fruits not so long ago. Yes, we were. We had a friend with us who was a little bit scared of them, or at least that's what he told us.
Oh, you get quite a lot of them, actually. You get quite a lot of people say they're scared of fruits. Sometimes they're scared of vegetables, and it's either one or t'other. Oh, there was a man in the other day. Oh, scared of vegetables he was. I showed him a carrot and he ran screaming from the supermarket. I didn't realise he didn't like vegetables. Blimey, I felt bad.
Oh well, these things happen.
Oh, don't they just. Oh, I'm sorry, I haven't told you my name. It's Wilson. Wilson Comet.
Wilson Comet. That's a good name. I like that name.
I know. My mother was into space and stuff. Oh, and she liked Harold Wilson. He's a Prime Minister, wasn't he?
He was, quite a long time ago.
Yeah, I know. She had pictures of him on her wall and everything.
Well, very distinctive.
I don't think... I'm not as old as him. I wasn't born in the 60s or anything. No, but she liked him. She always liked him. She liked him to the day she died. Well, not that she's died yet, but... Well, anyway.
Anyway...
So, which one of you's the writer?
That'll be me.
Oh, right, okay. Do you two know each other then?
We do. We actually live in the same house, but we did not know that we were going to both be here at the same time.
Oh, that's funny. That's funny, Days. It's very funny. Yes. Oh, right. So, you'll be pushing him around in a trolley because your legs aren't working, is that right?
My legs, they're not working too well, no. I mean, but I better do work on the till. If I could talk to a few people.
Yes. We're all quite excited. We're quite excited about it, yeah. Oh, well, yeah. And you, Mr.
Cromitty, yes.
Yeah, so you'll be pushing him around, but obviously we'll be training you as well. So, and then that gives you a chance to watch and see how things go, Mr. Writer.
Yeah, that would be great.
Yeah, then you can go on the tills sort of this afternoon or something.
Cool. I like the sound of that. Oh, yes, I like the sound of that too.
All right, then. Right.
Well, let me take you to the areas where you can leave your stuff. You know, your coats and your handbags and stuff. All right? Ah, right. Good. Yeah, thank you. Oh, I'm looking forward to this. It's no playground, though. This is where you're working hard. Oh, yes, I know. I will be only working part-time, as you know. Oh, yeah, I know. We like to work the part-timers even harder. Oh, yes, of course. I'm here to work. I'm glad to hear it. Right, come on then, follow me. He seems nice, Paul. Yeah, he does. Very, very nice. Next, we find ourselves in March 2023. Our first episode was released on the 3rd of March. Episode 619, Woo, it's a big welcome for Jakey the Gamer. That was a chat about sort of being a gamer to the point where you're making money from gaming. My friend Jake, and he was an interesting guest because, as you know, I play a lot of Fortnite. And, it's interesting to meet people who almost do gaming as a living to a certain extent, or certainly make money through advertising, etc. And, some of the good points and bad points about being in that situation. What's the furthest country or whatever that your listeners, not your listeners, your viewers?
I'd say the furthest is New Zealand.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I have a viewer, who I've known for about 2 months now. Yeah, he lives in New Zealand.
Yeah.
So that's the furthest. Obviously, I've got a lot of people in the UK. I've got a viewer from Denmark. I've got viewers from America. I've got I have 2 from Japan.
I've got a listener from Japan who's a fan of Dealey, my cat. He always comments on, because Dealey sometimes appears on the podcast, and he was, Dealey sounds like he tweets me and says, Dealey sounds like he's very well today, and he bought one of I have a Patreon, but I also have a Redbubble account, and I did some with Dealey or there was a logo with me and Dealey, and there's a clock. One of the merchandise was a clock, and yes, he's got me and Dealey on a clock in Japan. It's amazing.
Oh, that's cute. That's really cute.
Yeah. Do you find that your viewers are more just interested in that you are the main thing, and they don't mind what you play, or do some people only turn up for certain days? Or
nowadays, I'd say I've more got a community that love watching me for me.
Yeah.
For the person I am. But when I started, the community I had were only interested in Dead by Daylight. So if let's say, for example, I was going to play, I don't know, like Mario Kart. I did a Mario Kart stream back a couple of weeks after I first started. When I was doing Dead by Daylight originally, I used to have about, this is back when I first started streaming, I think I had about 15 viewers at one point. And then when I did a Mario Kart stream, my viewers literally only had about 4 viewers the entire stream. Yeah. And that is a huge drop in viewers. And I think at that point it was like, wow, so if I only play Dead by Daylight, you're going to watch me. And now I've got a community of people that genuinely just love me for me. It's nice to now get out of that. And I've had to tell people, don't get yourself trapped in that environment of playing just one game. Get to know people by playing other games, or play other games yourself. And I've had to tell people it should be your stream about you, not about what game you're playing.
Next up, we had episode 620, Musical Appreciation with a Foul Monkey. This saw the return of Adam from Foul Monkeys as a guest. We talked about music and music that had come out in the first quarter or so of 2023. We've had Adam on the show before, and it was nice to have him back, though, for a proper chat, because we hadn't had a proper chat for a good while. And, of course, there is more to be said on this matter, more to be said about music with Adam. But, it was really good to catch up with him on this occasion. The next one is another one that you introduced me to. by Louise, who used to be in Eternal, but obviously she's had a solo career far longer. But I think you said it was from a new greatest hits album or something.
Yeah.
It's called Super Magic, and I think I heard it and I thought, "Ooh, Sheena Easton, 80s Sheena Easton."
I definitely hear that, and I think you mentioned a little bit of Olivia Newton-John.
Yeah. It's again very, very catchy. If she'd have released that in the 90s when she was having, or maybe even the early noughties when she was having hits, it would have. It's got this. She looks very. There's a video for that one, isn't there? Because some of these things they don't always have videos.
I think so. Yeah. I'm bad at watching the videos. I've been pleasantly surprised by the last couple of things that Louise has put out. She's certainly not resting on her laurels, so to speak.
No. I can't remember now whether it was you or somebody else who recommended when she last did an album. I'm pretty sure I listened to that as well because it had a lot of sort of good press. Not that means anything with chart terms, but
I think we did Heavy Love. It was about 3 years ago. Had some good stuff on it.
Because don't know. Sometimes I try and forward the what do they call it? Pass it on or whatever. So if you recommend me a song, then I might try and recommend somebody else who I think will like it. But I sent it. I think I sent the Dream Beats and Louise at the same time. And I think they like the Dream Beats, but they're a bit sort of Louise. So I think she has a bit of a sort of, her reputation is a bit sort of long time ago, footballer's wife sort of thing. Which is a shame because it's a really, really good song. Next up, on the 10th of March, we released episode 621, Nick's first visit to Pickle Hollow, and this is what it was. Aunt Tappy invited Nick and I over for dinner, and we tried some of her favourite American dishes. Oh, Aunt Tappy, that food was amazing. I mean, I think that roadkill. I wasn't sure if it was it? Could it have been a baby deer or something? Or,
I thought it was squirrel.
Oh well, no, that was the other thing. Was squirrel? I think
the squirrel was in the stew. Yeah. Now, well, your guess is as good as mine about the roadkill, but I think it's far too small. Unless it was a very tiny deer, I don't know.
You don't get badgers, do you? Do you have badgers over there? No.
Well,
skunk. No, it wouldn't have been skunk. That would have tasted strong.
Well, no. Well, you cut out the gland. Anyways, never mind. Well, that's the thing about roadkill, dear. The other name for it is mystery meat.
Yes.
Oh dear.
That's a kinder kind.
Yeah.
Sort of name for it. Yeah.
The snow with the
maple syrup, dear.
Maple syrup. That was very tasty. Very good. Yes.
Oh yes. It's so easy to make.
Yeah. I think I found a little bit of roadkill in that as well, but it was.
Dear.
I think it was a little mouse, but actually it's still alive. It was just frozen. I huffed on it a few times and it ran away. But we've got these last three gifts before we have to go back. The time's just sped by this afternoon.
It has. It's been delightful.
Look, I've got something here for you. Now, I haven't actually. I bought myself. Well, I can't vouch for this, but I'm sure it's perfectly nice. It's called a Bedfordshire clanger.
Oh, my goodness!
Used with those little very biggish creatures that on a children's TV show.
I don't think Aunt Tappy would have seen that, Nick. The clangers are very cute pink alien things from the 60s and 70s on kids' TV. But
I see.
But this is not what this is. Now, Bedfordshire is a county, or that's where that comes from. So I guess that's where they originated from. But it's another suet thing. It's a elongated suet dumpling similar to a pasty. You know how we have like Cornish pasties and although
yes.
I don't know. I don't think of Cornish pasties as being suet. I think of them as being pastry, but I guess suet pastry. I don't know. Yeah. But anyway, it's got a savoury filling one end and a sweet filling at the other. No, I've heard of Cornish pasties being like that.
Yes.
So this might be, somebody might have stolen this idea from the Cornish again, but... Next up, on the 12th of March, episode 622, Shy Yeti's somewhat unsuccessful day out. Now, originally, I was going on a trip to hospital, and I was hoping to then go to Richmond Park or sort of take us on a bit more of an exciting day out, but that's not how it worked out. But we did have a nice chat with Muffley on tour. On that day, the traffic really just really fouled things up, and I barely made it to the hospital for my appointment, let alone to have a gadabout round Richmond Park. But next up, on the 14th of March, we had episode 623, Shy Yeti presents Muffley's Prog Primer. Muffley on tour was back again. This time he was talking about one of his musical favourites, like prog bands, such as King Crimson, Yes, Genesis, Mike Oldfield and Pink Floyd.
I suppose I was sort of the opposite to you in that I didn't have an influence. So if anything, for a while, I might have been an influence on my brother. We certainly had a phase where, during Britpop, where he really liked Britpop, but was only like about 10 when it started to come about. But I remember, because I was playing the Kinks and Village Green Preservation Society, etc. And I remember, for a while into the sort of mid to late 90s, he was very much followed what I liked, but then sort of went on his own way. But I don't think what he went into was half as much fun as because I've always got that pop side and that sort of. It's very. Often I find that some people get very serious about music, and it's only like one type of music they like, and it's the very serious rock. And I think, you need to listen to some fun things as well. You need to have
absolutely, absolutely. And like, interestingly, working on some stuff for the band that I've we're back doing. I sent them something and they were like, "Oh, that sounds really nice." And they said, "Oh, it's got that nice chord." And I automatically said, "That's the ABBA chord." And they were like, "What?" I said, "Yeah, I listen to loads of ABBA. I should be listening to like Led Zeppelin or Deep Purple, but no, you listen to ABBA stuff and like there's so much invention going on there." So yeah, it's just absolutely fantastic.
Next up on the 18th of March, we had episode 624, Shy Yeti's Fortune Cookie Future. Yes, we had fortune cookies after a Chinese meal, and, the fortunes that came from the cookies turned out to be quite telling, and, Cromitty made quite a big decision on the basis of what he's said.
Cromitty, how did this all happen? Was it that fortune cookie, that bad fortune cookie? I seem to have got the only good one. What about you, Paul? Has your fortunes come true?
My fortunes are kind of a little bit general, but I've not noticed anything yet.
Well, I'd look back at it if I were you. You might find that your fortunes are going to come true, so be careful.
I have definitely had a life-changing event, Yeti Uncle John.
Yes, well, so have I, but I've had a nice event that's occurring in my home, which was also my fortune. Oh dear. So you done, you two?
Oh, I don't know, Ace, but I've split up with him for now. He didn't treat you right. I've said that before. You agree with me, don't you, Paul? Yeah, pretty much. I do think he didn't make you a priority, Cromitty, and you deserve to be someone's priority. Work or no work. Just because you're tired doesn't mean to say you can skip seeing somebody. You have to think about them or how they may feel. Even if you just hang out on the couch or something, it's not like you'd be demanding attention. I mean, you could have been there at the flat waiting for him after his work, cooking his dinner, making things nice for him, making him cups of tea. I know that is exactly the sort of person you are, Cromitty. Yes, and I would have done, and sometimes I did. and he never seemed that appreciative. It's not right. It's not right, Paul. It's not right, Paul. Because Cromitty is exactly the sort of person that Milo needs. If he has a busy life, Cromitty will be there for him. Cromitty's got a flexible working thing, haven't you? Well, I have, although I have been having to do shifts at the supermarket, as you already know. Oh yes. Are you still down there? I am. It's only part-time. Yeah, so you could have fitted around him. You could have... I mean, the fact is you did. Yes, I even picked him up from work one day. He was at work, and when he went to work, he was full size, and he had a little, I don't know, like a panic attack or something, and he went very small. And he called me up, and I went and picked him up and took him home in my pocket. Well, that's love for you, Cromitty, and he doesn't deserve you if he doesn't appreciate that. Did he say thank you? Well, he kind of said thank you at the time, but I don't think it made any difference in the scale of things. Well, it's dreadful. Next up, on the 21st of March, we had episode 625, 7 short clues and 1 missing Callum. This was an episode that had been held back from the previous year. Yeah, Callum went out for an explore, and he went missing. And, we really got into a bit of a panic for a while. But, you'll have to listen to the episode to find out exactly how we sort of learnt what had really happened to him.
I've now made it round to the Horseshoe Lake Dog Beach, which is without any dogs at the moment. And the path carries on down this way.
That was a very short one, Paul. It was very short, and yet I think it could give us a clue. Where did he say he was? At the Horseshoe Lake Dog Beach? Is that a thing? Yeah, Dog Beach. I guess that means an area of sand where the dogs are allowed to run, which, is for the dogs rather than for the people. So if people want to let their dogs run on the beach, there's a special beach for the dogs. Well, I guess that makes sense. Gosh. But what does it tell us? It tells us that perhaps he was leapt upon by some giant Hound of the Baskervilles dog-type thing, like a monster that lives around the shoreline of the Horseshoe Lake. Paul, how did we hear a dog? But he said there was no dog on the beach, let alone being attacked and eaten by some giant hound. Well, I don't know. And also, of course, we've still got two videos. Well, if he's like sort of descending into the throat of the giant hound, well, no, you're right. Yes. I don't know if I want to watch those last 2 videos. Not if that's what's in store for us. Oh, Paul. I think perhaps your mind is overreacting. Our next episode was episode 626, released on the 25th of March. Are We There, Yeti? 10th anniversary special, which was, that was celebrating 10 years of my poetry collection, Are We There, Yeti? Okay, let's do this one. A glue to mend a broken heart. It says, to be read slightly melodramatically, or maybe not, it's up to you. Give me sympathy and sanity, a glass of Chardonnay. Let me sit and think about the times you let me have my way. Let me contemplate about those nights you're promised to be mine, before our love grew complicated, before it died upon the vine. Give me reason to think fondly of that foolish, wasteful year, or should I wipe it from my mind, just let it quickly disappear? Give me glue to mend my broken heart, leave me lonely, please don't speak. Give me words on which to rest my head, to cling to when I'm weak. Give me solace, give me silence, give me whiskey, serve it neat. Loving you is an experience I would rather not repeat. Except, I'm really lying, and if the chance would come again, I would put up with the torment and just forget you caused me pain. Give me reason to think kindly, not remember all the lies. I should have kept my love on ice, I should have been more worldly wise. Give me glue to mend my broken heart. Seems for now there is no feeling. My poor heart remains too numb and doesn't yet feel like it's healing. Give me passion, give me violence, give me vodka on the rocks. then set free my love for you that is as strong as any ox. So you feel nothing for me now, and our relationship is strained. You cannot keep a love like that, so meanly trapped, cruelly contained. Give me reason not to hate you for all the mind games that you played. Make it clear you didn't want me, and don't regret you never stayed. Give me glue to mend my broken heart, and I shall repair it piece by piece. But why now do I feel so bitter, since I'm offered sweet release? Our next episode, episode 627, was Shy Yeti and the Mystery of the Were-Kitten, released on the 28th of March. This was an episode where Dealey was accused of doing all sorts of nasty things by a load of local foxes, and it turned out there was a were-kitten on the loose. We had to prove that it wasn't Dealey. Blimey. That was quite a hair-raising episode. Look, we've not seen anything. Maybe whatever it was has gone or moved on, yeah. Shush. What comedy? I heard something through my headphones. Through your headphones? Yeti'S. I have headphones that connected to the cameras that are outside. I heard something. Shush. Sorry. I wonder what that is. I think it's the were-kitten. It sounded like not exactly a howl, more a meow. Okay. Right. I'm going to get my coat. What? I've got to go out there. No, Cromitty, you can't. No, I have to. It's the only way I'm going to see something. Maybe if I can use myself as a target. It might eat you, Cromitty. I don't think a were-kitten is going to eat me. It might lick me or rub around my legs. But then maybe be a little bit nippy, We don't want it to nip you. Don't worry. I'm wearing stern trousers. Stern trousers. Yes, very thick trousers that no were-beast will bite through. Really? Yes, it makes it a bit difficult to walk. Well, look, we'll come with you. No, but you've not got stern trousers. No, I've only got jogger bottoms. Oh, dear, I'm wearing shorts. It's rather unseasonal, but, yeah, we can see. The were-kitten will think that you're a were-beast with just how hairy your legs are. Well, thank you, Paul. Yeah. Look, no, I'm going out. If I cry out, then well, come running. But make sure you cover your legs or something. Cover our legs? Wrap yourself in a duvet or something. Or if you hear something, just run. No, this is the trouble with the stern trousers. I cannot run. They are very stiff. I have to walk like a soldier, like very slowly. Oh, Cromitty. Don't worry, Paul. I'll go out the front door. You stay here at the back. Wear my earphones, please. Oh, all right. I'll watch from the front. There's no need, Yeti Uncle John. Watch on my phone. Look, there's a screen. You can flick between the cameras. All right. Cromitty, be careful. Yes, be careful, Cromitty. If you hear a cry, it's me. Come running. Oh dear. We've got to do this now. I need proof. I need evidence. I mean, we need to clear poor Dealey's name. Yes. But how do you know it's not just a cat? It's fine. I have another device here. It is thermal imaging. The were-kittens have a different temperature. I'll be able to detect it and see whether it is a were-beast. Also, when it tries to lick me, it will be a very powerful lick. Oh, gosh. Look, take care. I will, Paul. Oh, yes, do take care, Cromitty. Oh, dear. Oh, gosh, Paul. Is this right? Should we leave him? I guess if he wants to go, we can't stop him. And he's got those stern trousers on. I've never heard of such a thing. Oh, no, I've never heard of stern trousers. Can you see anything? Oh, I can't see anything. I can see Cromitty coming out onto the front of the flat. Oh, dear. I hear kitty. Here, kitty. I've got some lovely treats for you. Here, little kitty. Yes, lovely treats. Come and get your treats. Oh gosh. Oh, we should have walkie-talkies, Paul. He's given you his phone. He can't even call. So no, but we can hear.
We can hear if he gets into trouble. It could be too late by then, Paul. We better go. But we haven't got stern trousers. You said wrap your legs in duvets. Then we're not going to be able to walk. Look, I'm not... I think perhaps we should go out, but let's not worry about our legs. You're not the one wearing shorts, Paul. Well, put some trousers on then. Look, have a pair of my jogging bottoms. They're not very fashionable, Paul. Oh, it's not the moment for fashion, Yeti Uncle John. Oh, sorry. All right, I'll put those on. Shall we go? Yes, put them on, and we'll go to the door. Can you hear anything? No, I can't. Oh, just a minute. I think I heard a howl or a meow. Oh, Paul, come on. We've got to help him. All right. Kitty. Now be good. Don't do anything you might regret.
Meow.
Oh dear. Oh dear. He's definitely here. I've got my camera. Where's my camera? Oh, here's my camera. Going to take a photo of you. Yes. Oh, where are you, Kitty? Where are you? Come on, let's go. I definitely heard a meow. Oh dear. These jogging bottoms are very comfortable. I might have to get myself a pair. Yeah, come on, let's go. Our final episode of March was episode 628, Alien X Tricky April Fool's Day. Technically, it came out on the 31st of March, but really it was our April Fool's episode. It just slipped into the end of March. And yeah, Ick, who we'd been having quite a lot of trouble with him sort of saying he wasn't going to necessarily renew his contract. And we already knew that his contract ended at the end of April. But on April Fool's, he really gave us a lot of trouble. And he did some pretty awful April Fools that just weren't funny and really upset a few people. And, well, I was there having to sort of try and do some bridge building, I guess you could say. Oh dear, yes.
Oh, there's something wrong with my piano. It's all out of tune. Your piano, Mum? How did that happen? You always keep your piano tuned. Finely tuned. I know I do, my darling. Oh dear. I was just trying to practice a little piece. I wanted to impress Reginald when he came over. We were going for a meal later. Oh yeah, I remember. Do you think it can just be atmospherics? No, darling. A piano doesn't go out of tune overnight. I guess not. Oh, now my phone's ringing. Just a minute. Hello, Martin? Hey, boss. Is that you? What? Hey, boss. I just wanted to know, are you the man I should speak to about solving mysterious crimes? It depends what you want. I have solved mysterious crimes before now. Hey, boss, that sounds great. Yeah, I want you to do me a mysterious crime. I'm prepared to pay big money. Right, well, I do have all of the, paperwork. I used to be a policeman and then I was a detective, and more recently I've been working in a music school, but I can still do crime stuff. Hey, boss, that sounds great. How about if I give you 2 million? You what? 2 million, boss. But to do what? I need you to kill someone for me. What? That's not solving a crime. I can't kill someone for you. Really? Oh, well, maybe you're not the guy I need to speak to. No, 2 million? No, I can't do that. Who's that? What's going on?
It's me, Ignatin. I am the April Fool prankster. Oh, you fell for my trick.
I don't understand.
I made you think that I was going to employ you as a crime person.
I didn't really believe it. Ick, why are you playing April Fool's pranks?
Because it's April Fool.
Yeah, but it's not very nice. It's not funny.
Oh, and by the way, it's Saluda's piano not in tune.
No, it's not in tune. What's going on, my darling? It's Ick. He's just been trying to prank me. Apparently, he's also responsible for your piano being out of tune. Oh, I never even saw him come here.
Oh, no. I sent my team of angry bees over. and they squirted honey inside your piano. And that's why it's out of tune.
You did what? Squirted honey on my mum's piano?
I did. April Fool.
Oh no, honey on my precious piano. That'll be so expensive to get it repaired. Ick, do you hear that? You've ruined Mum's piano. And you're going to have to pay for it. And Ick. Well, what's going on? He's gone. Oh dear, we wait till I tell Paul. That's dreadful. Absolutely awful.
So that's March for you. Now, moving on to April. Next up, we have episode 629, The Mighty Return of Andy the Birthday Twin, released on the 4th of April. And sure enough, Andy the Birthday Twin is back. And this time we're talking about our likes and dislikes, partly to discover whether we have even more in common than being born on the same day, the same year, and almost, well, with only a few hours between us. And yeah, we did. We found we had a number of other things in common. Not only that, but Andy makes a really good co-host, and I really enjoy when we get to podcast together.
You mentioned the Beatles at the start of this, and the one album that I'm really familiar with is the one that probably no Beatles fan really probably is familiar with, and it's for alternative reasons. It's the White Album.
Oh yeah.
And I know that quite well, and that's as a result of reading true crime. Because it's entwined with the story of the Manson killers, isn't it?
Yeah,
and in fact, it might have even been, I think I was house sharing, and I think someone I was living with had the White Album, and I was maybe reading the book and thinking, oh my God, this, I'm reading about these people in California in 1969 and the songs that they're listening to, and she's playing them in the next room, and then getting a copy of it and listening to it all the way through and thinking, you can kind of see maybe how some of the lyrics, some of the words maybe were a little bit, I don't know, they were taking drugs. Who knows how you're going to react, but and it's certainly not an excuse for the dreadful things that they did, but you can kind of see how maybe for someone who was under the influence, let's say, listening to certain, it's absolutely crazy, isn't it? Claiming that John Lennon and Paul McCartney were telling them to do certain things through the lyrics. It's just, it's nonsense. But it was interesting to be listening to the music while reading the book at the same time.
And I think that's quite an interesting album of theirs to be into.
It is, isn't it?
Because it's quite different, and it's almost a bit like 4 solo albums.
Yes, all strung together.
They weren't very connected at the time,
and I quite
but it's
like
still
that.
Interesting. Yeah,
I quite like that because I like the way that you can have like a really sad, serious song, and then the next one's almost like completely different, and then something quite abstract, and then something that's like a pop song. And it's almost like a jukebox, isn't it?
Yes,
of songs.
Yeah, definitely. And I always hate it when I used to read music magazines that serious music journalists would always hate their more quirky or funny songs. They were like, "Oh, how can a band that wrote Hey Jude have written Yellow Submarine?" But when I was a 12-year-old, it would have been those songs that were my gateway into, because off the next album, Abbey Road, there's a song called Maxwell's Silver Hammer about a hammer that goes around killing people. And that would have been amazing when I was 12. I still think it's one of my favourites. But and there's there's quite a few silly songs like Bungalow Bill and
Obladi Oblada.
Yeah, but there's sort of wordplay and all sorts of things going on. I like the variety on there. And I like this, like Rocky Raccoon and things like that. They're just silly, but that's the sort of the reason they've probably got a lasting legacy is that they did write things like When I'm 64, and old grannies would be singing that. There's not many bands who write songs that could have, old granny isn't necessarily going to have liked every single Beatles song, but she might have heard some of the more sort of nostalgic type ones that Paul McCartney used to write. And like I always remember my great aunt, not with the Beatles, but with she wouldn't have been a massive ABBA fan, considering that she'd have been quite
I don't know, 60s when ABBA was big, but she knew Money, Money, Money. And that's a song that kind of transcended different sort of age groups. And I think that's really, really clever if you can kind of get to the grannies as well. Next up we have episode 630, Shy Yeti's Easterish Chatterbox Eggfest, released on the 8th of April. That was our first Chatterbox in a few months. We didn't really talk a lot about Easter, to be honest, but there was still plenty to be said. Yeti Uncle John, I think you might get two more questions in before the end of the episode if you hurry. All right. Would you rather live in a world where robots or aliens ruled the world?
It depends who the aliens are, doesn't it? Doesn't it depend who the aliens are? If they're... Because if it was the Daleks, then, no. But if they're nice aliens, then maybe.
Well, the problem is that if you've got an alien ruling the world and they don't breathe oxygen and nitrogen, for example,
that would be
they
tricky.
might have to fill the world with noxious gases to survive.
Yeah.
And I think we get enough noxious gases around here as it is, frankly.
Yeah. Maybe we should go for robots.
So I'd go for robots every time, yes.
What about alien robots? They could be one in the same.
Oh,
now you're asking for it.
Now you're being tricksy.
Yeah. What about you, Nick? Aliens or robots?
Robots. If they were hostile, I could totter around like Woody Allen did in that film last night.
Oh, Sleeper, yeah.
Tend to be a robot.
You tend to be a robot, yeah. And that was the funny bit where he ended up being sent back to the robot factory, and they wanted to. They were going, can you replace the head? Yeah. And he's sitting there watching all the other robots have their heads taken off, and then he tries to totter out of the factory. Like,
so I'm a soft spot for robots. Robots. Yeah.
I did dress up as a robot in 1977 for the Queen's Silver Jubilee, and won second prize.
I dressed up as a robot on Sutton Park, but my costume was made by Mr. Lee Freeman, who did me a very, very good robot costume.
My best friend, the same year, made a robot which stood outside his bedroom door, and when they moved to Manchester, he wasn't allowed to take it, so he sort of ninjaed it to death and smashed it to pieces. It was most bizarre, There's this friend of his, and he just was kind of kung fu the thing to death.
Next up, we have episode 631, Doppy, Uncle Warren, and the Easter Market. This was released on the 11th of April, and funnily enough, originally it was supposed to be 2 episodes. I'd arranged to record with Doppy, and I'd arranged to record with Uncle Warren. One or t'other of them had to cancel, so I decided, well, there's no reason they can't be in the same episode together. I just had to jiggle some ideas around, and this is what I came up with. I just wanted to tell you that we need you over at the Magpie Hut for doing stuff at the Bickerbrack doodah thing.
Oh yeah, the Bickerbrack.
Right.
Oh, yeah, they're doing stuff.
So are people showing up? Yeah, there's a few people. I can't stay for too long because the magpie eggs. The magpie eggs. Yes, I know they've not hatched yet. No, they have not hatched yet. But I think it could happen any day. Well, I can understand. Didn't you want us to try something? Yes, guys. I wanted to.
Is it legal?
It's my new toothpaste.
Oh
no! Some people say it's a little bit cheesy, but I think just you wait and see. Your teeth will sparkle like gems.
Yeah. It smells like feet.
It does smell like feet. I didn't like to say, but that is really vintage.
What's all this whispering?
Nothing.
Don't worry. They keep doing that. I don't know what's going on. Look, I'm sure it'll be fine. It's very nice. So I just want you to try it. Tell me what you think. Go brush your teeth. Go on, do it.
Do it.
It is very cheesy, John.
Oh dear.
Yeah.
Look, Why can't you?
It's nice. Yes.
I'm putting mine on a cracker.
I was going to say, look, I think you should face it, Yeti Uncle John. This would be better on a cracker, and I think you'd sell more. Oh, are you sure? I was certain it would be toothpaste. I've been inventing a new toothbrush, which isn't quite, ready for trialing yet. But
okay, but it's just a spoon, Yeti Uncle John. It's just a spoon.
Oh dear!
It's not dissolving either.
Oh, look, perhaps I won't be able to get any sold this time, but
no, I applaud your inventiveness. You're trying, and it's all good.
Yeah, people often say, "Oh, I'm trying." Next up is episode 632, released on the 15th of April. Shy Yeti's hectic springtime visit home. In this one, Cromitty and I head back to Salisbury, and Yeti Uncle John insists on coming along. There are quite a few guests in this episode, including Wifey Joe, Paul from school, Nick, Troby, Mum and Dad, and there was also some behind-the-scenes footage. In fact, going back to Paul from school, we had a lot of Paul from school during 2023 because he was partially working back in Salisbury, and I was meeting up with him every time I came down. So he got to be on the show pretty much every month in some form, or at least recorded in some form. And it was really good to have him as a much more regular guest on the show.
Yeah, you've been to see a chair show, Pam Ayres, Titanic. Tell us all about those things.
Yeah, so we went to see Cher, which was like a looky-likey show, really, of 3 Chers in one night.
Cher alike.
Old, young Cher, baby Cher, middle-aged Cher, and vintage Cher. And actually, they were all 3 were really good, actually. But the best one was actually the middle one, really. She had really good performance.
Is that like 80s?
Yeah, 80s, 90s.
When she came back after.
Yeah, and the voice changes a bit. And but they didn't do any. I don't remember them doing any Mamma Mia songs, but they probably didn't want to pay any extra that they already are paying. The Cher will be charging tip-top price. But anyway, it was really good. The only thing was some people don't seem to understand the difference between a theatre production and a concert. So there's people turning up thinking they're coming to a concert, and this is a theatrical show. And they even said at the beginning of the show, there will be an opportunity for audience participation at the end. Okay, and there's a sign that reiterated this in neon at the back. But these people were, I think, not only were they expecting to join in, I think they were expecting to go on the stage, I think they were expecting to meet Cher, I think they wanted pictures, photos, and they were annoying. Two different groups, but different sides of the theatre. And I was telling my friend Cesar about it, and he said, oh my God, that happened in Wimbledon. They're all like that. So but actually it was a very good show. I really enjoyed it.
Next up we had episode 633. The best bet for Shy Yeti is to sing. Now, this was released on the 17th of April, 2023, and actually, though, had a much longer history to it. It was another of our singing episodes. Harry and I, we'd written a song together called Best Bet, and I wrote the lyrics and Harry wrote the tune, and we sung it back in November, but Harry was doing a lot of mixing work on it, and I'm releasing different versions, and then I wanted to talk to him about how he thought it had gone, and so it did take about 6 months from beginning to end,
Hey listeners, it's me, and I'm in a pub in Surbiton with Harry, and this is quite a few months later. It's February And so we did our recording in November, that's right, isn't it? Yes. Oh no, it was October.
October, yeah.
I thought it was November because I forgot that my birthday holiday was not near my birthday last year. Yeah, so it's been over 4 months, and but we're at a stage now where you're happy with what you've been doing.
Yeah, so one of the sort of things that I find it's pretty difficult because I'm constantly like listening to the song and then tweaking it a little bit. And honestly, the differences are just so minor that you wouldn't hear it unless you listen very, very carefully. So the revisions that have been made have been pretty minor, to be honest.
And you found the takes that you wanted to use. Is that how you did it?
Yeah, that was probably the most difficult, because I think I did one version and you spotted that the fourth, is it the fourth verse? You thought that probably wasn't the best take that you'd had, and you were absolutely right, because I found another take where it was much better. So I was able to insert that and make a difference to it. The other thing with the GarageBand, which is what I use on the iPad Mini, is that it has a different styles of microphone that you can use, and it's got one which is called like Radio Ready or something like that, which it pumps up the vocal. It's got like a little bit of auto-tune in it, but not a huge amount of auto-tune. So I found that was a really good thing to actually use.
Yeah, I mean, I'm still aware a bit of the. I don't know if we ought to use one of the pop mics or whatever. I feel there's like sort of words that bounce off.
There are all various options, and you listen through, and a lot of it is trial and error, and you sort of think, I think it just seems a little bit cleaner with the Radio Ready one. Yeah. So it's sort of like you can hear it more, hear it a bit more. It's less distorted, and it's finding that balance, I guess.
But now we've shared with the listeners some of our rehearsals, but now we're ready to share the finished track.
Yay!
This is the edit that you're happy with, and we're both happy with, and well, we'll let them listen to it now. We were sitting at dinner just a few days ago. I presumed he was happy, but I just didn't know. He'd been thinking, had been plotting ahead, that he'd got our wills written. It was then that he said,
"You're my best bet, my darling, you're my soulmate, my rock. Yes, you make me feel special, yes, I'm sure you're in shock. You're my best bet, I see, now I'm sure you will agree. We can even be married if you fund my degree."
We were sitting at dinner and I still hadn't spoke. To be honest, he'd stumped me, and it was not a joke. It is hard to be flattered when such words are proposed, but he seemed really pleased. Was the subject now closed?
You're my best bet, my darling, you're my soulmate, my rock. Yes, you make me feel special, yes, I'm sure you're in shock. You're my best bet, I see, now I'm sure you will agree. We can even be married if you fund my degree. We
were sitting at dinner and I gave him a smile. There were tears in my eyes, it had been quite a while. I don't show my emotion very often, it's true, but he got his reaction. He looked smart through and through.
You're my best bet, my darling, you're my soulmate, my rock. Yes, you make me feel special, yes, I'm sure you're in shock. You're my best bet I see, now I'm sure you will agree. We can even be married if you fund my degree.
We were sitting at dinner, I had made no complaint. Maybe I am his best bet, like he's some kinda saint. It is hard to fake joy now when such words are coming fast. Yes, he caught my attention. I sprung up with this blast. I am nobody's best bet, I am better than that. I'm a bona fide hottie, you're a bona fide twat. There are millions like you, but only one who is me. Oh, I may not have mentioned, but I've poisoned your tea. Not my best bet, my dear, you know I'm sick of your lies. Time for you to depart now, let us say our goodbyes. Better luck in my future when you're buried down deep. And the best bet now for you is to shut both your eyes and just sleep.
Our next episode was episode 634, Shy Yeti's second mid-70s musical chitter-chat, released on the 21st of April. This was another episode with Martin Holmes and I, in which we talked about some of the singers or stars of music in 1975 and 1976.
I want to finish with this because I don't know. It's one of those things like we say, well, I don't know that song. You might know the song. It's the third biggest selling single. It's called Mississippi by Pussycat.
Oh, right. Mississippi.
I don't know. So we're going to have a look.
Okay. Right, yeah.
Mississippi is a song by Dutch country pop band Pussycat. Right. It was the group's first number one in their home country, as well as their only number one single in most countries. And in New Zealand and South Africa, Mississippi was their first of two number one singles. It was the best-selling single of 1977 in the Latin nation.
Okay.
So, yeah, I mean, I need to find out a bit more about the actual band. Now, there looks like there's four... everyone's got long hair. I was going to say... I say that it looks like there's 3 women and 4 men, but I mistook one of the men for a woman because his hair was so long.
Okay. There you sounded like my dad now.
Well, the picture is really small on Wikipedia, so I'm peering.
What's that monkey song?
Oh yes.
And you go to a party and you can't tell the boys from the girls. That one.
The 3 sisters. They were telephone operators in Limburg.
Right.
And looks like the men were in a group called Scum. And one of them was in a group called Ricky Rendell and his Centurions.
If I haven't said already, the difference between the episodes where we'd looked at the big hits of 75 and 76 was that these chats are more about the actual bands or stars themselves and their whole careers. So 75 and 76 is just a an excuse to find some of the big acts to begin a conversation about them. Next up, we have episode 635, Yeti Uncle John and the Oh-So-Nagging Magpies, released on the 24th of April, 2023. Well, basically, Yeti Uncle John, he kind of fell out with the magpies. It was partly Ick's fault, because Ick had been treating them to the finer life, and they got a taste for a lifestyle that was more than Yeti Uncle John was providing them, and it really didn't go very well. Oh, Reginald, you made me jump. I didn't see you there. Oh gosh, still stuck in your hedgehog suit, I see.
I'm afraid so.
How much longer do they think you're going to be stuck in there?
Well, you see, it's science. I have to wait for the glue to dry properly. You know, it's difficult because, you know, I'm hot-blooded. It keeps the glue alive.
Keeps the glue alive, does it? Golly. Gosh. Well, can't you just get Tallulah to pull you out of there?
Oh, Paul, I'm worried about my body hair, and she's very fond of it.
Oh, I see. Oh. How did the glue get inside the actual costume?
I think it's something to do with the glue they use to apply the hedgehog needles. You know, it sort of percolates through the skin onto my skin, and then, well, I kept it on far too long, and then I fell asleep, and, well, when I woke up, I'd sort of fused into the costume.
Oh, gosh. Well, I hope they can get you out of there soon.
I'm sure they will. At least it's quite warm.
Well, thank goodness it's still sort of, well, cold-ish. But, you know, another month or two, and we'd be in the summer, and, gosh, you'd melt in there.
Yes, I know, Paul. Oh, gosh. Well, I'll hopefully be out of it by then.
I hope so. What are you two doing out there, nattering away? I thought you were supposed to be coming in and helping me. Yes, Yeti Uncle John. We are. We're just talking.
Just talking.
Get your priorities right. Reginald, are you still in that hedgehog suit?
I am, Yeti Uncle John. I apologise. Looks like I'm going to be stuck in here for the near future.
Oh, dear. I hope the magpies aren't scared of you.
No, I'm sure they won't be. You know, they'll recognise my voice.
Oh, dear, that Ick has got a lot to answer for. Doesn't he just?
Yes. And so what's happened exactly? They're behaving badly.
Yes, they are behaving badly. Yeah. It's ever since, you know, Ick had them in the spaceship, after he did the April Fool's joke thing. They came to, like, a certain standard of living that apparently I don't provide for them here. Oh, dear, they've turned into a right bunch of divas. Oh, God. Yes, well, I guess they've learnt some bad habits from Ick. They most certainly have. Very bad habits. Oh, dear. I'll just go and check they're ready for you two. All right, back in a moment. Fine, no problem.
Oh, dear, Paul, he seems most distressed.
Yeah, and I can understand that. I mean, he's very fond of them, but I'm really worried he'll make some rash decision and send them on their way.
Won't they just fly back to him? Aren't they like homing pigeons?
Well, they're kind of a little bit more advanced than homing pigeons. I don't know. They're different.
Oh, right. Do you know what happened to the parakeets?
Oh, the parakeets. I think they just went back to where they came from, wherever that was.
Wherever did Ick get them from?
I'm not sure. I mean, I know there were a lot of parakeets in the area, particularly like around Richmond Park and places like that, but that doesn't explain how he actually got them to do what he wanted them to. Like be annoying.
Oh, yes, Paul. They were very annoying.
Maybe he called Parakeets Are Us or something.
Parakeets Are Us? Is there such a store?
I don't know. Online, maybe.
Wouldn't surprise me. Still, I'm not sure. I'm really not sure. He probably just impersonated them. You know, went and stood in Richmond Park and spoke in parakeet and told them there was a big party at the Magpie Hut or something. I'm not sure. Right, guys, I'm ready. I'm ready for you both. Now, you make sure you're tough with them. Tell them I'm cross. I mean, I've told them I'm cross, but you need to tell them. Set them straight. Tell them not to treat me like this. Tell them I've put my whole life into them and they're just being mean. All right, Yeti Uncle John, yes, we'll tell them that. All right, go in. All right. It'll be fine, Yeti Uncle John. Don't you fret. No, don't you fret. Come on, Reginald. Hi, Magpies. It's me, Older Shy Yeti, and your old friend Reginald. Hello, Magpies. We're here to speak with you. We hear you've been, well, you have a disagreement with Yeti Uncle John, your good friend, Yeti Uncle John. It seems a shame, a great shame that you have fallen out with him. Yeah, I mean, you've lived with him so long. What I don't know that you know is that, well, your recent visit to the UFO to see Ick, the way he treated you, it was very nice, but, you know, can you imagine, you know, like going on a holiday? When you go on a holiday, you get treated nicely. You indulge yourself. You treat yourself. Nice things happen to you. It's a bit different, but you couldn't live your whole life like that. Otherwise, it wouldn't be special anymore. So your visit to the UFO is just like that. Imagine it was a holiday, you know, a weekend away. It's really not something you'd want all the time. No, not all the time. No, absolutely not. It would drive you out of your mind. No, your home is here. Yeti Uncle John is your family. We are your family. Ick, well, he's like an auntie or uncle that turns up from time to time with a present to make things nice. Yes, there is room for both in your life, but, well, you really don't want to hurt Yeti Uncle John. No. So, look, Magpies, are you listening? What we're trying to say is that you're onto a good thing here, and, you know, you and Yeti Uncle John, you are very close, and Yeti Uncle John, you know, sorry, could you lower your noising? Could you lower your racket, please? Excuse me. Oh dear, they don't seem to want to listen, Paul. No, they don't, do they? Oh dear. Well, if we can't talk to them, then who can? I don't know, Paul. Oh, that Ick. What a pain. He is a pain. What are we going to tell Yeti Uncle John? I don't know what to tell him. Maybe Ick could speak to them. Do you think he'd come? I don't know. We could go and ask. We could do. Maybe even if he recorded a message for them. And if he didn't want to come over here. Yes, we could try that. Oh dear, I think we're going to have to break it to Yeti Uncle John that this isn't going to be as simple as we first hoped. I'm afraid you're right, Paul. Come on, let's go. Magpies, you're being very rude. You know, think about it. Think about being nice. Think about being nice, Magpies, please. Oh, dear. I've got some magpie poo in my eye, then. Oh, that's not very nice. Let's get out of here. I don't want my best baseball cap ruined. Oh, yes. No, and I don't want magpie poo inside this hedgehog costume. I have to live with this for the next few days, maybe even weeks. Oh, come on, let's get out of here.
Our last episode of April 2023 was episode 636, Shy Yeti's most random episode ever. released on the 27th of April. This was a chat between Nick and I with some random words, but we also had some random sentences, random phrases, random dinner parties. I won't explain that now, you just have to listen. But, yeah. We also had a number of would you rather poses, which we did quite a lot in 2023. You know, would you rather never drink coffee again or never drink alcohol again, or things like that. During one recording session, Nick got quite cross. He wanted to know who was demanding that he make this decision. I had to explain, well, it's just a what if, more than likely. These scenarios would never happen, but at least I find it quite intriguing to have to make that decision, or to think about it. It's all for fun.
Would you rather be able to change your past or be able to change your future?
I can change my past, actually. There's a few things I'd tweak. And a few things I wouldn't mess up, mainly because I think I could have been a better person if I'd made those choices. I certainly could have fulfilled my potential a bit more. So if we're going to tamper with anything, I think we're tampering with the past. Future, difficult to know. It might, who knows, things might sort of turn out roses and kind of be even better. But no, I think I'd be more interested in tampering with the past.
Yeah. I think it would be small things, or it might be trying to sort of stop friendships that kind of, I don't know, find something. The thing is that it's not usually me who ends a friendship, so, and it's not necessarily that a friendship ended in a bad, it kind of faded out. And I think I'd have paid more attention to when people like my friend Lee was kind of, because that suddenly had happened, he suddenly realised that I couldn't contact him anymore. Around the time when I first started, I came to dating relatively late, but and so I was kind of distracted by things happening in my personal life, and then before I realised, just a minute, Lee had just moved house, and suddenly I couldn't get hold of him, and so it was sort of, my eye was off the ball on that friendship. But then maybe I couldn't have done anything about it anyway. Maybe I knew he'd always sort of wanted to, he was kind of quite, well, I need to do this. I must actually get a life, and I think he had plans for himself.
There are two things immediately spring to mind, but this is a game I'm playing with myself all the time. This is a game I play all the time, not playing with myself all the time. I've often spoke of how I get a video camera a lot earlier, but I think also if we're going back to school leaving age, I would have smartened myself the hell up and concentrated more. Should have concentrated more on what my peers were looking like and general idea about that, rather than what my mother or family would have sort of seen me, and I've never really bothered keeping up with trends of clothes or whatever, and we had hand-me-downs galore when I was a kid, but I should have actually just smartened myself up a bit, because I knew that one or two people had said that, and I kind of resented it. I wouldn't have done facial hair until the 90s. I don't regret doing facial hair in the 90s, but my attempts at facial hair in the 80s were catastrophic.
So next up we find ourselves in May 2023, and the first episode came out on the 1st of May, episode 637, Could This Be the End for Ick, Part 1. Yes, this was a two-part story, because we had reached the deadline. Was Ick going to renew his contract or not? Well, there were lots of twists in these two episodes. The following one obviously being episode 638, the second part. We do discover at the end of it what
Ikki is going to do, but we also discover there's a bit more to it than we ever realised.
I'm very proud of all the work that Paul has put in on the show, and I've made many friends, even though, at times, more recently, our friendship has been tested. Things might not always be the same. I will always be here to help.
Oh, this doesn't sound good. Oh, it's all right, Paul. It's all right. Just let him speak. Yes, Paul, let him speak.
I know what Paul means, though.
Anyway, I'm coming to the main point of my chat now. And this is the reason, that we've met today for me to give you my decision. Now, it's with a heavy heart that I must say that I am announcing that I won't be signing a new contract with the Shout Out podcast. I'm very sorry.
That was very strange, Martin. The doors were left open. I don't think he's closed them properly. We didn't even have to press the doorbell.
I know. I hope we're not going to catch him, in the altogether, coming out of the shower or something.
Oh, well, I hope not. No, I can see him by the console. We should say something.
He seems to be on a call.
Yes. Well, we'll speak to him when he's finished.
Hello? Other dimension? Yes, it's me. Other dimensional Ikki. Yes. Yes. I have given them the news. The first part of the plan is ready. They now know that Ikki will not be returning to the show, but they do not yet know the other part of the plan. Yes. Yes. No, of course they don't know that I'm not the real Ikki. They don't know that I'm the other dimensional Ikki. They don't know that we are holding the real Ikki hostage, and have been for many months now. It's fine. Everything is going to plan. Everything is going well. I shall unleash the next part of the plan tomorrow, when I shall leave. Yes, it'll all be fine. It'll all be fine. Okay, over and out.
Oh my God, Cromitty, did you hear that?
Oh my goodness. That's not the real Ikki.
He said he's from the other dimension.
Yes, and that the real Ikki has been held hostage for many months.
Oh my goodness. I had no idea.
No, none of us had any idea. But how are we going to prove it?
I don't know. I don't know what we should do. We better get out of this spaceship. We don't want to be caught here, not by the other dimensional Ikki. He might be cross. We need to get the real Ikki back.
Yes, we do, but oh my goodness, we need to get out. We need to get out of here.
The doors are closed behind us. Maybe he's about to go somewhere.
Oh no, we're stuck on the ship and he doesn't know we're here. Oh no, what are we going to do?
I'm not sure. This feels very much like a cliffhanger.
It does, doesn't it? I think this might be a cliffhanger. Or whatever we're going to do.
I don't know. Hold my hand, Cromitty.
Okay, I'm holding your hand. I can hear the music swirling and swooping. And gosh, this really is a cliffhanger.
Oh, where are we going? What's going on? What are we going to do?
I don't know. Maybe we'll find out in part 2.
Oh no.
Next up we have episode 639, Shy Yeti in the Great Thames River Adventure. This was an episode I'd recorded with Harry earlier in the year. I wanted to go on the Thames boat from Greenwich for quite a while, but we'd cancelled it at the start of the year because it simply was too cold and I didn't want to go out when it was icy. But actually, I think we went and met up in very early April to do this episode, and it was freezing. It was really freezing when we were on the boat, and I wasn't having the best of days energy-wise. We went around Greenwich Market, and I had to keep finding places to sit down. But also, a lot of the park benches that had been around the centre of Greenwich
had been removed during the pandemic and not replaced. So where I was kind of expecting to be able to find a seat to sit down, there weren't no seats. So, yeah, we still managed to have a good day of it, though. And there was also a special guest at the end of the episode, an added special guest, I should say.
Hi listeners, we're at Greenwich Market. We're here with Harry and Eric. It's quite a food market today. There are chicken, sage and cranberry Scotch eggs, breakfast Scotch eggs, chorizo Scotch eggs. Very tempted to buy one to take home. We shall see. There's black pudding Scotch egg, lentil and mushroom Scotch egg. Gosh, so much food. So many cakes. I bumped into Harry and Eric on the bus. They were on my bus. Well, they were about to get onto my bus. So, gosh, donuts. Might get some from here on the way back. I'll have a look first. Hello, listeners. We're at, what's this place called? Japanese place. Udon something. Oh, Marugem Udon. I'm here with Dr. Neff. Dr. Neff, how are you?
I'm doing fine, thank you.
As you may remember, listeners, Dr. Neff lives with Charlie. Charlie Gurr. When Charlie Gurr's in town, obviously Charlie Gurr has Bear-Gurian residences, and he's always going to other places. But Neff, what is Charlie like to live with?
Very good.
Well, that's bound to happen, isn't it, really? But don't believe him, listeners. He's very devoted to Charlie. We've known Charlie a very long time. What did you think, Neff, when you first met Charlie? What attracted you to adopt him?
He has very big feet.
Oh, yeah, he does have very big feet. Yeah, he's very stylish. I've seen pictures of him. He changes his outfits, and he's very fashion conscious. What is his favourite fashion? What clothes does he wear that you're most impressed with?
He tends to go for red color. He likes red.
Yeah.
But just normal t-shirts, as long as they're red.
Yeah. I remember we used to buy him t-shirts from like IKEA, but we'd tell him they were very expensive. We said they were from the most expensive boutiques, and he believed us. But they were really from IKEA, not IKEA. What's that? TK Maxx or Primark. Primark. That's what I'm thinking of. Yeah. He had some really cool hoodies from Primark, and he thought they were like from the top London boutiques. I think things are quite different in Bear-Guria, but.
Next up we have episode 640, Uncle Warren, the Well, and the TV of 1990. Uncle Warren was back, and Yeti, Uncle John and Cromitty were in the middle of a photo session, and, well, quite literally, a well became a problematic prop, and Uncle Warren had to help sort it all out. It was most complicated. But we also had time to talk about the TV of 1990.
Tweet.
Help.
Tweet. Cock-a-doodle-doo.
What's going on? Cromitty, Yeti, Uncle John, I can hear you, but I can't see you.
Oh, Martin, we're down the well. We fell down the well.
You did what?
No, we fell down the well. He was making me take photos, and I fell backwards. And then he tried to rescue me, and he fell in too.
Oh, blimey. How can I get you out?
Well, do be careful. We don't want you falling in.
Oh, dear. I'm going to have to go and get some help.
See if Paul's around, or Warren. Actually, I think Coconut Jim is supposed to be turning up at some point. Help! There's a fog down here. He's very unpleasant.
All right, I'll go and find him. Oh, dear.
Warren, what's going on? Oh, what's that? What's going on? I can see that's Martin. He's running towards us.
Martin doesn't run, does he?
Well, he can do. Actually, Martin was once an undercover detective. You should chat with him one day. Martin, what's wrong?
Oh, they've fallen down the well.
Who's fallen down the well?
Well, Cromitty and Yeti Uncle John. It's a long story. We need to get them out.
Oh dear.
Can we just not put the lid on it?
No, we can't. Well, you need to take charge. You know what to do in these sort of circumstances.
Right. Get me some hot water and towels.
No, that's the wrong sort of emergency.
Rope. We need lots of rope.
I found a little bit.
That is string. That's not rope.
Yeah, exactly. We need something stronger than this.
Can we dangle a person down there? And they can grab hold of them and we can pull them up.
Sure. No, I think that's how they got in the situation they are. Maybe there's something at the Magpie Hut. I'll go and look. Apparently, Coconut Jim's supposed to be somewhere around in the area as well. Perhaps Ick can. No, Ick's gone. I forgot about that. Yeah, I'll go and look at the Magpie Hut. You do your best.
Right, come on, let's go. And you must better reassure them or something. You must.
I'll shout down at them.
Right, okay.
Hello. I'm putting echo on this sound effect on my mic.
That's fine.
Hello.
Is that you, Warren? It's me, Yeti Uncle John.
Yes, can you hear me?
It's not that deep a well. Look, I can almost touch your fingertips. It's just it's a little well, but it's still not very. It's very slimy inside. Yes, it is. Oh dear.
You've got frogs down there, have you?
There is frogs.
That time of year where they take a liking to humans.
I know. This one keeps looking at me. I think it likes my ankles.
Is it licking its eyes? Yeah, you be careful of that.
It might well be. Blimey. Oh dear. Next up we have episode 641, A Question of Kings and Queens. This came out on the 28th of May, and, well, that was around the time of the coronation of King Charles III. Not having a lot of interest in the royals. I wasn't watching all the stuff that was going on TV, and I certainly wasn't going up to London to watch any of it. But I did sort of feel that perhaps we should talk about what it would be like to be a king or a queen. And I got the regulars in, and we just sort of, we just sort of chatted about it really, and decided that none of us really wanted to be a king or a queen. Well, one of us did, but perhaps you can guess which one. But next up we have episode 642, released on the 31st of May, 2023. Mr. Mongoose's Movie Marathon. This was recorded with my friend Mr. Mongoose when I visited his home up in Stoke. I managed to get myself on a train and I went to stay with Mr. Mongoose. And we had a mammoth film watching weekend, which was great fun. We watched a lot of Scream films. We watched other horror films. It was a really cool weekend, and he looked after me extremely well. Mr. Mongoose and I have been friends for many, many years, and
yeah, this was the first time we were meeting in real life. So, actually in the same room. Yeah, it was really cool. We didn't do a lot when we got up there as far as walking about. Oh yeah, and he had the most comfortable bed. I wanted to steal it. It was wonderful.
You've been looking after me very well. You've been cooking me lots of nice dinner and breakfasts. I've had eggs and sausages and tuna pasta bakes, and I've had lemon meringue pie, and that was just, all this was just one dinner. But you're a very good host. I believe I'm one of your first ever visitors.
Yes, you are. Yes.
And have I been well behaved?
Very.
Oh, thank goodness. You've been a very good host. We've been watching lots of films, haven't we?
Yes.
We started with the first 3 Omen films. What's your favourite one of them?
I would say part 1 and part 3.
Yeah. Definitely part 1. I don't know if it's just because, well, the deaths are more memorable in the first one. And like when I watched 2, I was like, I can only really remember like the bit where the birds get her.
Yes.
I couldn't remember much else. And about the only thing I could remember about 3 was that Ruby Wax was in it for about 5 seconds. But
oh yes, the death scene.
Yeah, she does some screaming. I can imagine if she was playing the real Ruby Wax, she'd be a completely different reaction.
I think that would just destroy the movie itself then, wouldn't it? Can you imagine Ruby Wax being Ruby Wax in The Omen? She'd have something critical to say about that.
Yeah. But what do you think? So why do you think it's okay to be being evil and stuff?
But she didn't actually meet Damien, though, did she?
No, she met his predecessor in the not his predecessor as in another devil's son, but as an American ambassador.
Next up, we enter June 2023. Our next episode is episode 643, Shy Yeti's 7-Year Itch. It was our 7th anniversary special edition, and really I would have liked it to have come out in May, but one way or another, what with being away and travelling about, there just wasn't the time to release as many episodes in May as I would have liked. So it became the first episode released in June. It was an episode I'd recorded with Toppy. Originally it was going to be, an episode of the Smellcast and an episode of the Shy Life podcast, and like a 2-parter across our 2 series. But in the end, the timings didn't work out, and I just put it into one big episode for the Shy Life podcast, which, in a way, may have been for the best, because it really was one story, and it was just the half of it was set in Pickle Hollow, and the other half was set in the Shy Life podcast world. It was all about the 7-Year Itch, which basically came from a load of fleas that Yeti Uncle John had brought home on an old coat that he bought from a flea market. Dear oh dear.
Oh, these are such big servings. Don't you think so, Yeti Uncle John?
Yeah, but, I've got a big appetite.
Oh, of course you do. My, what an interesting coat you're wearing.
It's quite hot, isn't it? Is it? Oh no, I've got the coat. On. Yes, this is my purchase. I've been shopping, Aunt Tappy, this year. I wanted to get out of the Topster's hair whilst he was doing his recording. So I went down to some of the markets, some of the little shops. I bought a couple of trinkets to take back with me. I mean, this is the first time I've been to Pickle Hollow like by myself, like for holiday. I mean,
isn't that nice?
Yeah, it's very nice. So I bought little trinkets, but I've been looking for a coat like this for ages. Originally I was going to try and get a pea coat, but I couldn't find one of them. So I saw this one. It's like an Afghan coat.
Did you say pea coat?
Well, yeah.
Tabby, what What's a peacoat?
Well, actually, I'm not really sure. Uncle John, what's a peacoat?
It's a coat that's been peed on, I think. So I decided not to get
God.
Well, so I decided not to go with that. I've gone with the Afghan coat, late 60s style. I think 60s going to be in this summer, so...
That's just what I wanted to say. I remember that fashion from the 60s and early 70s. My, this must be quite old, yes?
Yeah, it's vintage. I got it from the vintage marketplace around. Oh, I can't tell you, but it's just, yeah, you probably know it, but yeah, I can't remember the name of it. But anyway, it was exactly what I wanted, but real bargain. It's a bit warm to be wearing it here, but
How many animals did they have to kill to make that thing?
Sassy.
I don't know if they're real. I'm sure it's fake. It's lots of this furry stuff. It's definitely fake. But
Yes.
It's got the right style. It's got the right style, though, I think.
Well, I think it looks lovely on you, but it's rather warm. Surely you don't want to have it on right now, dear.
Well, the thing is, I kind of have to keep in it at the moment.
What?
It was so warm that I've taken off my shirt, and so I'll keep it on whilst I'm eating. It's fine.
Okay. You're perspiring. Anyways, I guess you know what's best.
Yes.
Well, just keep it on if you must. That's all right, isn't it, dear? It's fine, perfectly normal.
Yeah. Oh, the burrito is yummy. Yeah, it's very nice.
They do a wonderful job here at Jose's Hideaway. It's our favourite place to gather.
Well, I recognise, that's an August Evans on the wall, isn't it?
Yes.
Is that one of the originals?
I think so. That's when he was in his Dust Bunny phase.
Oh, yes, very nice.
Yes, he painted dust bunnies. Isn't that wonderful?
Very nice.
Oh, boy.
Next up, we have episode 644, Two Views of the Same Week, 1990 edition. This was an episode I recorded with Nick, where we dipped into our 1990 diaries, and we compared notes. And sure enough, I appeared in his diary, and he appeared in mine. Although his entries are shorter than mine, it was interesting to compare notes, and added a bit to our exploration of 1990, which I've enjoyed doing over the last year or 18 months. It's going to take a while, I must say, to get through 1990, but yeah, there's no rush. Next up, we have episode 645, Looking for a Nick Replacement, which is exactly what we did. You may gather from this title that Ick didn't renew his contract, although there's a lot more to it than that. But whilst we worked out quite what we were going to do, we decided we needed a replacement for Ick, and we auditioned 3 different people, and they were all quite characters, let's say. We did decide on one of them, although at the time we weren't sure whether we should have thrown them all back and tried again, with no disrespect to the successful applicant. But anyway, have a listen and you'll see who these applicants were.
I think it might be time for the first person to come in. I've got the first person here, Paul. Right. Who do we have? His name's Francis Twitter. He likes dressing as birds. Right. Okay. Send him in. All right, Paul. Yes, Mr. Twitter, please come in. Come along. The boys want to speak to you.
Hello. It's so nice to see you. How are you?
Hello, Francis. My name's Paul, and this is Cromitty. We'll be here. Yeti Uncle John will be taking notes.
Hello. It's a pleasure to be here.
It is. Do you always? I mean, I don't know. Are you going to keep your head on when you speak to us? Is it whatever you prefer?
I can move my head, if you like.
It's a very wonderful costume. What sort of bird is that?
It's a blue tit. A blue tit. Did you hear that?
Yes, we can hear you with your blue tit head on, but well, it's up to you.
I'll take my head off. I'll take my head off if you like.
Because your Uncle John has to better hear what you're saying.
Ah, yes, I suppose you're right. Yes, I'll take my head off.
Oh, yes. What questions do you want to ask?
His voice still seems as muffled as it was before.
It's just my natural speaking voice. It's a little bit muffled.
Yes. Oh, well, there's no problem. So why do you want this job? You do know it's only temporary at this moment. Yes, Uncle John, do you have the next person?
Yes, I do. Muriel Hogg.
Muriel Hogg. Okay. Does she dress like a pig? Paul. I don't know. I don't know what we've got here. Yes, Uncle John, does she dress as a pig?
No. She's dressed more like Mary Poppins.
Oh, all right then. Send her in. Bring her in.
All right. Yeah, I think you're right about that, Mr. Twitter. He was kind of strange. He left some strange deposits in the waiting room.
Strange deposits?
Oh. Yes, never mind. Mrs. Hogg, please come in.
Hello. It's lovely to be here. Hello, my name's Muriel Hogg. Oh, yes. Your house is very untidy. Would you like me to tidy it for you?
Well, if you like. I mean, Toby does quite a good job.
Oh, yes, Toby, I think I might have met him. Oh, it's lovely to be here. I love your house.
Oh, thank you. It's very nice, isn't it?
Yes, except that it's very dirty and I want to clean it.
That's fine. That's if you want to.
Yes, I'll clean it with my tongue.
Really? Oh, gosh.
Yes, it's the best way. It's the cleanest way. If you use your tongue.
I think a Hoover would be better.
No. That's why God gave you a tongue to clean your house with.
Really? I'd never thought of it like that.
Oh, yes, that's the best way. Absolutely the best way. Anyway, what do you want to ask me?
Muriel, what do you know about the show? Why do you think you'd be a good fit?
Oh, because I like talking. Yes. I mean, it's another thing you can do with your tongue. You flap it around when you speak.
Yeah. We have a guy called Martin. We call him Sniffy Martin.
Oh, why?
Because he sniffs a lot.
Oh, does he smell?
Well, no, he doesn't smell. He smells, but he sniffs. Paul is trying to say he likes smells. He doesn't smell himself. Well, I guess he does, but not in a bad way. He likes to wear cologne.
Oh, cologne. Well, I suppose it would be quite a good set. If you have somebody who smells, somebody who licks things. I could be Licky Muriel.
Licky Muriel, yes.
Yes. How well does your cat lick?
How well does my cat lick? He's a pretty good licker. Yes, a pretty good licker is Dealey.
He looks very old.
He is quite old. He's actually an alien, but he remains in the form of a cat because he's doing research.
Oh, really? I met them types before. You have to be careful with them. They'll steal the margarine from your fridge.
Will they?
Yes, they do not know. Aliens love margarine. They love to lick it with their tongues. They have very long tongues. Some aliens.
Well, the person who you are temping for, he is an alien.
Oh, did he steal your margarine?
Not that I know of. He had his own fridge. He didn't really need to use ours.
Oh, well. Oh, funny lot, though. Them aliens in them spaceships. Oh, I don't trust them myself.
Oh, well, ours was very nice, but...
Oh, well, maybe you should find somebody else as well. You know, somebody with big ears. And they could be Listen-y Joseph or something.
Oh, yes, that's very catchy. But at the moment, there's only one position. And, yes, well, anyway, please, Muriel, I'm sorry, Mrs. Hogg.
That's my name. Don't wear it out. Ha, ha, ha.
That's a funny one. Get Uncle John, who do we have next?
we have Ozymandias, the talking duck. Ozymandias, the talking duck. Is he actually a duck? Well, yes, I think so. But he talks. Okay, this kind of sounds more hopeful. Yes, I think a talking duck would be a good replacement for Eek, don't you? Yeah. Please, show him in. All right. He seems quite pleasant. Okay.
Oh, quack, quack, quack. Oh, quack, quack, quack. How are you?
Hello. Ozymandias, is it?
Oh, yes, quack, quack, quack. Oh, how nice. Thank you.
Yes, please take the seat.
Oh, quack, quack, quack. Oh, thank you. Oh, no. Oh, I love it. It's so nice to be in your podcast.
Yes, it's so nice to have you. Do you have any questions?
Oh, yes, quack, quack, quack. I'm very interested to read about some of the other people I might be working with, quack, quack, quack.
Yes, there's Uncle John, who you've met.
Moving on, we reach episode 646. This was released on the 15th of June. It was called Chewing the Cud Over the Big Hits of 2000 and starred my friend Lee, who is one of the regular co-hosts of the podcast Chewing the Cud. And we've done a few episodes with him over the years. And this time we were talking about the big hits of 2000 on both sides of the pond.
Now, the next number one, I guess we're almost talking about a vintage act at this point, because again, like at Gabrielle, they've been around for, nearly 10 years by this point, or maybe not 10, but 8, 7. It's Oasis with Go Let It Out.
I have no idea what that sounds like.
Sounds like most Oasis. Like a mixture of Status Quo and any other sort of band at the same time. Not one of my favourite Oasis songs. I'd sort of lost interest in them by this point anyway. But it was from their 4th album. Yeah.
I wouldn't even know how I would know some Oasis songs, but I'm surprised it was number 1, and I didn't even know about it.
Only for 1 week, but then that's pretty much part of the course for this year. But
next up, we have episode 647, Yeti Uncle John's Artificial Intelligence Nightmare. This was all inspired by, Yeti Uncle John has seen me using one of those AI apps where you can make photos and all sorts using AI, and he found one himself, a completely different app to the one I've been using, but, it caused all sorts of trouble. As one can imagine with Yeti Uncle John.
You're just going to have to change your phone number. What if one of them does come over? You say it's difficult to go from dimension to dimension, but, it has been possible. You don't know how to do it, or you've forgotten how to do it, but it's clearly possible, because otherwise Ick couldn't have been kidnapped. Maybe one of your Yeti Uncle Johns lives in that dimension. Do you think you could find out? I don't think that's possible, Paul. I don't know. Oh, I don't know, Paul. I must admit, I'm completely bamboozled. I just wanted to tell somebody, and I thought maybe, I don't know. What are we going to do about Ick? What are we going to do about your multiple personalities in different dimensions? As I say, change my phone number, block my Skype account. You can make a new friend. Oh, I don't think so. There's not room in the world for more than one Yeti Uncle John. Not in this dimension anyway. I thought it was a bit of fun, Paul. Well, I was expecting something bad, and this is kind of bad, but I can't really fault you for it, because I used a similar app, and as far as I know, I didn't create more versions of myself, but the app that you've used may have. But how are you to know that? You were just jumping on a bandwagon. Yes, Paul, I was. I didn't do this intentionally. I know. But it does bring up
the issue, doesn't it? It does, Paul. Brings up the issue of poor old Ick. Yes, but I can't go to their dimension. I'm not physically capable at the moment. And I'm just hoping that Ick finds his own way out. We can't be held hostage like this. I'm pretty certain that a controller or somebody has got something to do with this. It just seems like it's happening to create plot lines. You know, it's very dramatic. I won't be pushed into doing certain things. Yes, Paul, but you have a responsibility for Ick. I wouldn't say I had a responsibility for him. Yes, you do, Paul. He's one of the regulars. I know he is. And you're going to have to remember all of the horrible things he said. Because it wasn't him, it was the other version of Ick. It was the other dimensional version. I know. And the real Ick probably never wanted to even leave. Well, we don't know. We don't know quite when the swap over happened. Well, we'll have to see, won't we? It's no good, like, you know, this whole business with Ozzy the talking duck and stuff. Getting a replacement for Ick doesn't solve the problem. I know it doesn't. I know. But as I've said, I hope Ick will find his own way back. Yes, but it's not. It's like, I don't know, a member of your family kidnaps one of your friends. You can't just say, oh, well, nothing to do with me. You know, yeah, but the other dimension, they are not my family. They're just people who look like me and other people. I mean, you could say that for yourself, because there probably is a version of you out there. We don't know the full story. Oh, no, Paul. Well, I still think getting a replacement for Ick just, you know, hides the fact that there are other things going on. It hides the actual problem. All right, maybe it does. And, you know, who knows how Ozzy will work out. He'll be joining the show very soon, and then we'll see. Well, I don't hold out a lot of hope. I know. But you didn't come here to talk about Ick. You came here to talk about you. Yeah, that's true, Paul, but I don't think that there's much I can do about it. I just wanted you to know what happened. Well, I think you're going to have to change your phone number, and you're going to have to just ignore them and hope they forget about you. Yeah, well, don't use photo squish. That's what I'll say. Imagine there are other people out there doing the same thing, using their app, creating alternate versions of themselves that actually have a real life in another dimension. It could be chaos, Paul. I know it could be chaos, but what can we do about it? I can't sort every little problem out. You know, there are problems happening every day. I'm not Superman. I'm not even Batman, and I'm certainly not Wonder Woman. I just haven't got the legs for it. Oh, wouldn't it be good? Wouldn't it be nice to be Wonder Woman? It would be very glamorous. I'd certainly be up for it, but it's not going to happen. No. Well, I suppose you're right. What can we do? Next up, we have episode 648, Yeti and the Britpop Brigade. This is actually an episode I'd recorded, I think it was back in 2022. It was quite a while ago. I'd recorded it with Callum and also with a cameo from Harry. And, yeah, I was friends with both Harry and Callum during Britpop. And I went to a lot of gigs with Callum to see bands that you'd associate with Britpop, whether they liked it or not. And there were some quizzes. Yeah, I don't know why it took me so long to release it. I guess we do have quite a lot of music episodes anyway, so it was more of a standby episode to be used when there was an appropriate gap for it to appear. But I think it came out well. Next up we have episode 649, released on the 28th of June 2023. It's time to get randomly science fiction-y. Now, this was a random word episode, which became more than just that, because we had the opportunity for Nick and I to talk with Toppy. So we did do a random word episode, but we also talked quite a bit in the middle of the episode about science fiction conventions that we'd all been to. Obviously, I've been to quite a few with Nick, and Toppy's been to a few with friends over in the States. As far as random words were concerned, we came up with steam, relationships, indulge, photo, and reminder. And we also did some would you rather questions.
Well, my friend Mannion and I, over the last couple of years, have repeatedly go to what we call the place that we dare not mentioned by name. And as soon as we say that, we both know we're talking about the Chinese buffet, which is open for lunch and dinner. And it's kind of a bargain. It's not expensive, and you can eat all you want. And there's a lot of selections, although I have to say, I'm not sure how many authentically Chinese recipes are in there.
We'll be Chinese tonight.
Yeah, we were in a different city far away, and we found a Chinese buffet, and we said, "Oh, our favorite thing." We went in; it was exactly the same, the same food prepared exactly the same way. So obviously, there's a company behind, that provides these foods to any buffet Chinese restaurant that wants them. Anyways, you don't go to that place and come out slightly still hungry. You go there and you eat. And of course, we're always stuffed, and we always say, "Oh, I should have stopped 10 minutes ago."
Now, our last episode of June 2023 was episode 650, released on the 30th of June 2023, and it was called Another Andrew Comes A-Calling. Now, this was my friend Andrew, who I've known for over 30 years. He used to be a pen friend of mine. In fact, we had spoken to him before. We spoke to him and his daughter, a year or two ago. But this time he was in the country, and he came over to my flat for a little natter, a break from visiting family. We talked about TV. He had a bit of a natter with Yeti Uncle John, and one way or another, it was good to have him back. Andrew also made a number of appearances on Sutton Park back in the day, so he's kind of used to how weird my world can be. I think he coped, even though he doesn't have to live it on a daily basis anymore. Yeah, I think he coped.
I was on the show, and I think that you were sometimes on the show, but
I was one of the main guest stars, I think. Yeah, I don't know, on the Golden Girls or something, they'd have I don't know, Burt Lancaster or something. I was a bit like that.
Oh yes, I think you were Horner the Amphibian Man.
Yes, that was one of my. That was one of my most accomplished roles.
I've seen some of your episodes; they always made me laugh.
Yes. It was about 6 hours in makeup for that.
Oh,
it was
yes,
a tough gig, but I'm glad that you remember.
Yes. Well, it's always nice to meet a fellow as actor from from back in the day. It's very noisy out there today. What's going on? I guess Uncle John's just let the magpies out, I think. But I hear you met Yeti Uncle John. He's a nice soul, isn't he?
Yes. We discussed many important matters.
Yes. I hope he didn't try and sell you any of his knockoff T-shirts.
He didn't tell me anything, no, which is good. No.
Yes. Well, that's good. That means he must have really liked you, because he usually tries to sell merchandise that has gone badly wrong. But, the seance stuff's all ready, Andrew, if you want to come and sit in the middle of this pentangle thing.
In the middle? Okay.
Yes, because you've got to be astrally projected.
Right, okay.
Have you got everything?
Yes.
Okay. I can hear the music coming again. Listeners, just hang around for a moment or two more, and we'll project Andrew back to his home city. Oh, this is going to be exciting. I've never seen this done before. Yeah, there might be
You do promise I'll be returned to the correct place. I won't be returned to some random island or mountaintop.
No, it'll be fine. It'll be fine.
Are you sure? Because this pie is looks a bit ropey, to be honest. No offence, but
no.
Its pentacle is a bit wobbly. The lines aren't straight.
I know, it's fine. It'll be fine. It'll work. It'll be fine.
Right.
Paul, are you sure?
Have you done this before?
Yes, many times. I don't remember you doing it before.
Anyway, that's pretty much it for the first 6 months.
we'll talk about the rest of the year in part 2 of this episode. Well, listeners, that's about all we've got time for. That's the first 6 months of 2023 covered. And Levi, you were very quiet, but listening intently.
Yeah, listening intently.
Adding to your wisdom. And I always find with like stuff, information, I think I've got to the age where there's no more space in my brain for new information. So old stuff has to go out of my ears or be lost. But I think you're probably still of an age where there is still room for new information. What do you think?
I don't think so.
Oh dear. Oh dear, Levi. Well, I've got bad news for you because we're only halfway through the year, so we're expecting you to come back for part 2. I hope that will be all right.
Yep, definitely. I'll be here.
Good, right. Well, listeners, we'll say goodbye, but we will be back for part 2 very, very soon. And, gosh, 2024 is upon us, and hopefully Levi will be here in 2024 as well, but let's get the rest of 2023 done with first.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, take care, listeners. Speak to you soon. Goodbye for now.
Goodbye.
Bye-bye. Levi, I think you did very well to be sitting there for the whole of that episode whilst all those clips played. But I have a few tips for how you can pretend to be still awake when actually you are sleeping. I have these little stickers. They look like eyes. So if you just close your eyes. Okay, thank you. So I'm going to put one sticker over the eyelid and then another one on the other eyelid. And now, yes, I think you look like you're still awake. You look like you are watching. I think, so that is one of the ways that you can cope with having to put up with Paul talking at you for so many hours and things. But I think you did very well because you didn't snore. Did you find it hard not to snore, or did you stick something up your nose, or?
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, pretty much. Well, I think that is the best way. The main thing is he won't even notice. He's so busy talking about things that he wouldn't notice. So I think the eye stickers, I can sell you a whole pack of them for only $4.99. So
I mean, it's a good idea. So
yes,
definitely.
Yeah, okay. We'll sort that out for you. Oh, I can hear the theme music coming. All I can say is I hope you can use some of these ideas for when you come back for part 2, because there's just another 6 months to do. But you have to be alert, or at least appear to be alert. So, all right. Oh dear. Good luck, Levi. Good luck.
Thank you so much.
I gotta go now. Bye. I wasn't done with you. Gotta go. Bye.
Goodbye.
It's been good, but yeah, definitely time to come home now.
Wow.
Really?
No kidding.
Goodbye. Yes, goodbye.
This show is part of the Pride 48 network. Find more shows over at pride48.com.
Oh dear. What's going on now? Oh, it's the Shy Life podcast. Let's go.
I have a voice. I have a voice.
You have a voice.
You have a voice. We have a voice.
We have a voice.
Unique voices in podcasting.
UnivazPods.net.
That is so cringe, oh my god.
You're a man of culture as well.
Levi, it's me, Yeti Uncle John. I have some tips for you about how you can appear to be awake when maybe you're not that awake. It's called the self-prodder. It's like a stick, basically. It looks just like a stick, but actually it's more technical than that. So when you're feeling sleepy, when Paul is speaking, you have to just hold the stick and poke yourself in the side, and that will wake you up.
Sounds painful.
Yeah, try it. There you go. There's the stick. Hold the stick. And now I'll pretend to be Paul, all right? I'm talking about some stupid old rubbish. Then you have to poke yourself in the stick. Make it. That's right. Yeah, try not to make it noticeable that you're suffering pain. Though the main thing is you're still awake and he hasn't noticed. So you might have to. I'm afraid the pokey stick device does not come free. But $85.99, you'll find it's a bargain, and it comes with a free gag. So, but as you see, a bit like I believe Cromitty has been selling these eye stickers. Well, my gag has a smiley mouse on mouse. This gag, it has a smiley mouth on it. So if you have to poke. It's twofold. It's a lot more. Cost effective. Well, not cost effective. It's bloody expensive. It's a lot more effective because not only are you poking yourself in the side to keep yourself awake, but if you wear the gag, it appears like you're smiling, and Paul will never know, and he'll never hear your cries of agony as you pain. But $89.99, and I can give you a discount, and it'll be just £100. So anyway,
sound like a discount.
Levi, I think you're being picky here. It's fine. I thought you were a wise man, but anyway, we can speak about it later because I can see Paul coming. And right, better go. Lovely to speak to you, Levi. Pleasure doing business with you. Yes. All right. Yes. Levi was what was going on? What was he? I hope your Uncle John wasn't trying to sell you anything, because
trying to scam me.
Was he? Oh dear. What was he trying to sell you?
A stick.
A stick? Why was he trying? Like a walking stick, or not his poking stick? I heard about this poking stick. No, don't buy a poking stick off your Uncle John. You'll find it's made of rubber. It doesn't even work. Anyway, I have to warn you about Yeti Uncle John. He is the biggest scam merchant alive. But anyway, we really have to go now. So, anyway, I know you're looking forward to episode 2 of this 2-part episode, when I'll be telling you the next all the episodes for the next 6 months. I know you're very excited. I can see it in your expression. I can see your smiling face and excitement and things. So let's get off, and then we can come back and yes, more talking. Right. Okay. Let's go. Bye.
Bye.
Man, was that worth it or not? Oh my goodness, that was a darling little shoe.
What the hell just happened on this show? I mean, seriously, reverse it, because I lost. What's going on? What happened?
Paul, that was a whopper.
Oh my god, is this show over with
692. 692.
Is that okay? Is
692.
God, is this show gonna end anytime soon? This is just the weirdest thing I've ever heard.
Et voilà.